Blank check with Griffin and David. Blank check with Griffin and David. Don't know what to say or to expect. All you need to know is that the name of the show is Blank Check.
Ding dong.
Hello?
Hi, this is your friendly neighborhood postal carrier. Let me just rifle through here for a second. Hold on one second. I'm just looking for the letters that are for you here in my mailbag.
Podcast!
Hi, everybody. My name's Griffin Newman.
I'm David Sims.
Welcome
Did you like that I said podcast?
I loved it.
Good.
This is Blank Check with Griffin and David, and we have a very, very special episode for you today.
Yes.
You know your miniseries. You know your palate cleansers.
That's true.
You know your one-offs.
Your Ben's choices.
Yes. Our DC Extended Universe check-ins.
True.
Yes.
We kind of started doing those by mistake.
Yeah. You know our, hey, sometimes Griffin and David saw a movie and decided they wanted to do an emergency episode.
Jack Reacher, my friend.
We almost did it with Sandy Wexler, but we realized it would come out too late.
Yeah, we realized the Wex love would have dissipated.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Sandy Wexler's still going strong.
Our next miniseries
June.
is Sandy Wexler, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're going to do one episode on each of his clients.
Yes.
One of whom is Adam Sandler's wife.
Jackie Tatone?
He cast his wife as a failing actress.
I know.
It's a sweet performance.
I thought she was pretty winning
She's
in it.
great.
Yeah. She was a waitress who Adam Sandler uses the kid to hit on in Big Daddy.
Yes.
That's how they met. And then he didn't put her in any of his movies again.
Even though he puts all his dumb shit friends in all his movies.
Until Sandy Wexler, except for, do you know the one exception?
No.
She is the voice of the lead female character in 8 Crazy Nights.
Oh, weird.
But doesn't do the singing. Anyway. There you go.
So we're done.
Fun trivia for you. This is a bonus episode in which we just talk Jackie Tatone.
So we haven't recorded an episode in 4 months.
Yes.
You guys have been listening to our episodes, but we were banking them.
Right. We planned ahead. We were very smart, responsible boys.
Yes, except for the fact that we did not totally bank every episode we needed to bank. We did have like 3 episodes that we still needed to do.
A little gap.
Yeah, little gap.
Little gap to account for.
Griffin is in the middle of making the tick.
I'm right about at the midway point right now. Maybe
Good.
60% in.
Sure.
It's going great. I don't know why anyone ever makes a TV show. Here's what I'll say. The show's going great. I think people are going to love it.
Right.
I'm so proud of it. No more TV. Everyone get rid of TV. Too hard. It's the hardest thing.
I would much. It'd be great. 5 shows a year. No,
yeah.
You know what? 12. 1 a month is fine.
Yeah.
I'd watch 1 TV show a month. That's fine.
I
Just
agree.
do that.
We're doing 12, which I think I was like, what a good manageable number.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm like, too many. Let's do 2 episodes.
What ep are you in right now?
Right now, at the time of recording,
Which is May 7th.
May 7th. So this is a month behind of when you'll be listening to it, but not as bad as the, what
some of the other shit we've done.
You've been
where
getting
we're
episodes
talking
from
about like the phonograph and
right
stuff.
from the Bush administration. The phonograph, merchandise spotlight. There's no phonograph. Is great.
Merchandise spotlight. The automobile.
Yeah. You guys know that David and I are immortals, right? We're in the middle of episode 7 right now.
Okay, you're making episode 7 right now. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's getting
Who's
real
directing that
crazy.
fucker?
A guy named Tor Freudenthal. I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name. He directed the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie, which I fucking love.
It's spelt like Thor.
It is spelled like Thor, and I made that mistake. I called him Thor, and he gave me a kind of side eye, and I was like, oh, it's Tor.
He also directed Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters.
He did, and Hotel for Dogs.
Hotel for Dogs. That's one of Ben's favorite movies.
It made me cry.
Yeah.
Because
On a plane.
they really opened that hotel.
I think he's a very good director. Because, like, my little sister, Romley, who I vocalize,
He's also worked on a lot of the DC shows.
he is now, for the last couple of years,
He's in the DC
directed
CW universe.
all of the DC shows.
Yeah,
which I
Arrow,
think is why he
Flash,
was a choice for
Supergirl,
this.
Legends.
Yeah, I think he's a lovely guy, and his movies, I took Romley to see them when they came out because she was like
She
in the
was
right
into
age
the
range.
Diary.
And I remember always being like, this guy's a fucking, like, I was like, this one was well directed, and I'd look at the end credits and I'd see that name. for Frudenthal.
Sure.
Mispronouncing it in both directions. But when I met him, I was like, hey, I'm a big fan of your work. And he was like, come on. Like, he thought I was just like saying that like everyone says that.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I've seen all your movies because I have a younger sister. And he went, oh, God. And I was like, no, they're good. And he was like, are you razzing me? I think he's a lovely guy and a really good director. Anyway, that's episode 7. Look forward to it at some point coming out. But good show. No one should ever make TV ever again. I'm retired.
All the dogs work at the hotel, too.
Very true.
So this is a mailbag episode.
We've
never done anything like it before.
We've had an email account. We in early days.
And a Twitter account. I believe we have 2 email accounts.
I believe we do, because we used to have Griffin David Presents at Gmail.
Yeah.
And then we
air
had
conditioning.
stepping up here.
Yeah.
And then the Blank Check email account, and we would in early days invoke it and say send us questions, and then we never ever checked it.
So then we again said send us some questions just to freshen it up a little bit.
But I said, you know what?
He wants to take credit.
Yes, because you were against the idea originally.
Yeah, I was.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being a big man and admitting that.
I'm honest.
I said it's been a while. It's been a while. Shout out to, of course, that is a reference to Serial, the first podcast. I said it's been a while, and we should just get back into it and have an episode where we can kind of catch up. You know, we haven't been commenting on present day goings on in pop culture, which we often throw into whatever episodes are.
That's true.
And we just want to get back in, be friends again.
Right. We do want to do that. The other thing is we're recording this in May and it's going to post in mid-June. But anyway. But that's true. We're going to be more current than we have been.
Right.
Instead of talking about like James Mattis's, Secretary of Defense confirmation hearings, we can talk about like,
7 history points.
Yeah, the AHCA or whatever's happening in May.
Oh yeah, huge shit. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get back in the swing of things. I think it's going to be a real fun baby. And then at the end of this episode, we're going to tell you about our plans for going forward.
That's right, which we've been very mysterious about, and that's fine. And nobody has had any problems or ever suggested any future miniseries for us to do.
No, 100%. And that mystery that we've been throwing out there has been part of a very carefully orchestrated master plan, and not us second-guessing ourselves 7 ways to Sunday.
And telling, 400 people, we're probably going to do this. And then being I don't think we're going to do that.
Maybe even kind of booking guests to specific episodes for a miniseries we thought we were going to do next until we became terrified by the response.
Why can't we keep anything secret?
I don't know. We're fucking idiots. Okay. First email in the mailbag.
That resonated strangely in my headphones. All right. So we've got some tweets. We've got some emails. I think it's just going to spark some interesting conversations.
I think so, too.
Answer some trivia the fans want to know about this podcast, which is crazy to me that anyone would want to know any trivia about this fucking thing.
But some of these are also people, they've been curious. Hey, I wonder what your take is on this,
Sure.
Some of them are movie opinion questions, things that we might not get to in a given episode, and we're going to throw out some hot takes.
All right. So this is from Jeffrey Telesco.
Okay. The great Jeffrey Telesco.
By email. Hello, Fennel. My questions are all about bagels.
Which, okay, first of all, great way to start an email.
That's true. Have we introduced Ben?
Who, producer Ben?
Yeah. Hey, guys.
The
Just
Ben
say all
producer,
the names.
Producer Ben?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Don't do the question part. I hate that.
The Haas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you do them?
Oh, jeez.
It's been a while.
Birthday Benny.
Yeah.
Birthday Benny, the tiebreaker, Dirt Bike Benny, the Fuckmaster, the Meat Lover, the Fart Detective,
Soaking Wet Benny,
White Hot Benny, God damn it, the Peeper.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mr. Positive.
Mr. Positive.
Mr. Positive.
Mr.
Tiebreaker.
Positive,
The tiebreaker. I
Haas.
said the tiebreaker. I
tiebreaker.
know
All
I
right,
said
and
that
then
one.
some certain
Directed
titles.
certain titles over the course of different miniseries, such as Kylo Ben, Producer Ben Kenobi. I said it right that time.
You did. I was kind of amazed.
Thank you. I know you looked awestruck.
Yeah.
Ben and Shyamalan, Ben Say Anything, Ailey Benz with a $sign.
And what's his new name?
Warhaz.
Yeah, that's right. Warhaz.
Hey,
Forgot about
guys.
The great Ben Hosley's here with us.
Hello.
Ben's here.
People across this nation, Ben,
Yeah.
enjoying their set of limited edition collectors Ben Hosley buttons made by
Joe
past
Garden.
guest great friend Joe Garden,
Friend of the show.
who's been sending them out pro bono.
Yeah.
What a
Which
weirdo.
is awesome. And
Show you glorious weirdo.
yeah,
weirdo.
I mean,
Living up in Socrates, New York, making
Imagine
buttons
going
for our
to the
listeners.
post office. Just imagine. Maybe he has a stamps.com account.
No, I'll say
Who
this.
do not sponsor this
I'll
podcast.
say this. I don't know about present day. Joe Garden, more than anyone I've ever known, loves going to the post office.
Okay.
I've been to the post office with Joe many
He's
times.
a deeply sick person.
Yes, Joe.
All right.
You glorious
Jeffrey,
monster.
Jeffrey Telesco, hello, Fennel.
Okay.
My questions are all about bagels.
It's already the best email I've ever read. Okay.
Question 1. Where does Griffin get the bagels he eats on mic, and are they any good?
Okay.
Okay, so we can plug.
Boy. Yes, we can.
All right, so there's 2 places.
Yes.
But go ahead.
The number one place, which is about
The usual.
the usual, is actually called, I believe, Best Bagels and Coffee.
Correct. It is on West 36th Street?
Yes.
Yes. Between 7th and 8th Avenues.
Right. So the very name of that place should already answer your follow-up question. Are they any good? Good sir, they're the best.
They're actually not, but they are pretty good. Right? Would you agree?
They're pretty good.
They
they're
used
sort
to
of,
be this
they're-
tiny place, and they expanded, and
Yeah,
I
it's
think it got a
huge
little
now.
better when they
Yeah.
expanded.
They got more room now. Go there. There's another place. Jesus Christ, what's it called? It's called the Bagel Cafe or something that I go to sometimes as a backup on 32nd. But that was famously the place where I tweeted the picture of the everything bagel they gave me, and there were 6 seeds on it.
It was a bad
and I
bagel.
said, "Excuse me, sir, I asked for an everything," and he pointed to the 6 seeds and said, "What about
1, 2,
this?" And I went,
3.
"Come on."
That's not good. On Sundays, like today, Best Bagel and Coffee is closed.
For the Sabbath.
So I go to Murray's which is a very famous bagel place, on
Excellent
8th
bagel
Avenue
place.
between 22nd and 23rd Streets.
Yes.
Then I city bike for my sins the 10 blocks up to the studio.
Right. Now, here's the thing with Murray's. Murray's refuses to toast.
No, they used to.
What?
Now they toast.
What?
Your bagel was toasted.
Okay, see, this is why we need to do this episode, because we need to check in.
All right, so that's that answer.
Okay.
Number 2, we basically answered this.
Yeah.
What kind of bagel are they usually? Are they toasted with cream cheese? Griffin always gets the same thing, as does Ben.
Everything bagel, scone, and cream cheese.
Toast.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes if I'm feeling exorbitant, frisky, and I'm at a place that has this as an option, I will sometimes go bacon scallion.
Weird.
Hey, I'll say this about Best Bagels. They have Taylor ham, which is a Jersey sort of weird
Dirt
spam
Bike
like,
Benny.
You and your dirty
Pork
Jersey
product?
ham.
Sounds pretty good.
but it's the best. It's so good.
I always get Poppy not toasted with lox and cream cheese. I spend
You
on those
spend,
bagels.
yes.
Whew, boy, do they cost a lot in Manhattan. All right. Do David and Ben like bagels? All right. We already answered
Get the
that.
fuck out of here.
yeah.
Come on.
4, will Griffin ever share my bagel chronicle on the podcast? I think it's juicy gossip that your listeners will want to hear. No, never. Burger reports only. Oh, I have a burger report.
I know. We'll get to that later. Jeff.
Jesus, I almost forgot.
Jeff,
Okay.
I forgot that you sent me that. I will sneak it on David at some point, especially now that he told me that's not going to happen. I promise you it will happen.
I'm pretty sure I've told Jeff multiple times. No way.
It will happen.
All right, here's another email question.
Great.
From Neil Poon Handler, Reddit at gmail.com.
The great Neil Poonhandler.
I don't know if that's actually his full email, but his name I copy pasted as Neil Poon Handler, Reddit, as one word.
Okay, he's the Poon Handler.
All right, this is an important question, and it's topical, like you said. My
Hey,
question.
look, better a Poon Handler than a pussy grabber, like our commander and
Not gonna really endorse either. Anyway,
our commander and chump. I don't know.
yeah, all right. Donald Trump's bad. My
Bad
question
president.
for the
Bad president,
mailbag episode.
Sure.
What did you guys think of Fate of the Furious?
Oh,
Now, I think we were actually on the same page, but I'm not totally
Vaguely,
sure because
yeah.
we've only we talked about it on my birthday for a couple minutes. Talked about our dismay at this news that they're going to try maybe a Rock Statham spinoff, which to me just feels like you're diluting the brand. You know, you're kind of playing into the feud
yes.
between The Rock and Vin Diesel, and like the sort of, all the rumors we hear of Vin Diesel's kind of an asshole to work with.
No comment.
So like we didn't like that. But what did you think of Fate of the Furious? Then I reviewed it for The Atlantic.
Well, I'll say, and you're going to be upset about this.
Okay,
I'm going to do a follow-up
go ahead. What?
episode with John Gaber, so I was on his High and Mighty podcast.
Oh, sure.
We did an
That-
episode on the
that's not-
Fast and the Furious franchise, which a lot of the Blankies listened to and liked a lot.
Yeah, I didn't listen to it because fuck that.
You've been on other podcasts. You were in Fighting in the War Room.
I'm just kidding. I was on Little Gold Men recently.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're going to do a follow-up about Fate.
Yes.
Oh, so you're saying you don't want to talk about it?
I don't want to talk about it too in depth because we're going to probably do a half hour where I really dig in. I'll give you my generalized thoughts. I will also say we're going to do that episode when Gabers is in New York, and when that happens, also Gabers is going to be on Blank Check.
We got to get Gabers on Blank
He's
Check,
100%
man.
down. He's going to do it.
Intern Gino.
Yeah. My favorite character in the history of Comedy Bang Bang.
I love Intern Gino, but no, that's crazy.
He's mine.
He might be top 10.
Gino
for me.
is so in my Comedy
But
Strike Zone.
holy shit, is Chief good.
I know you've been talking Chief lately. I know you've been smoking that Chief.
Oh, my God. Gumshoe. He's the best. I love him
I love that
so
intern
much.
Gino.
Anyway.
Guys want some water?
Jeep is actually a female character, I believe, played by Carl Tart.
The great Carl Tart.
Yes.
Okay. Here
thoughts.
My general thoughts. Doesn't break the franchise.
No,
I'm
agreed.
always worried about one that will just completely irreparably damage,
but I do
or
think
lower the standard.
A
of
little
quality.
tension on the franchise
I
for the
agree.
first time.
I'm seeing some wear and tear.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me a little scared about the franchise going forward.
Yep.
You know, if I were an executive watching Fate, I would say, hey, let's find a new script to star Statham and Dwayne Johnson because they're good together,
right,
rather than spin them off, because I think the strength of this franchise is the ensemble cast. I think the second you start removing cast members, and as much as I like it as a abstract story idea, removing Dom from the rest of the group damages the movie a little bit. It unbalances a little bit.
I agree, and I just think if they did it because Vin Diesel's tough to work with or something, fine, but
no comment.
You did it. You played that card. You can't do it again.
Agreed.
You know, that's it.
Agreed. I think, you know, Mr. Little Nobody's not going to work. We need some new strong cast members in there. They need to get some new good people
Eastwood
for the family.
Is not going to work.
Not going to work.
In any movie ever. Am I wrong?
What about The Adventures of Young Clint Eastwood?
Fine. He's handsome, I suppose, in
got
sort
a
of
good face.
boring way. But
probably decent dick.
Look, who knows?
Decent. I didn't say great. Decent.
Okay. They used him as a honky.
Yes.
I tried to get that word in my review. I ran it by my editor, and she was like, yeah, no, I think we could do it. And then she read it, and she was like, no. But he is the movie's honky, right? They are making fun of him there. Everyone's like, get a load of this jerk.
Yeah.
But they can only, he's going to come back in 9, and they'll be like, Familia, Scott Eastwood.
Right.
No, don't get
They're trying to backdoor pilot him into being the new Brian, which is there's only one Brian.
Fuck that.
And also, we already got Roman as the fucking...
We don't need it.
Roman's the one you pick on. Roman's the one you make fun of.
Agreed. So you're going to talk about more. I want to just briefly say...
The Justice for Han thing, I agree with 100%.
100%.
That's my biggest problem with the movie.
Han. You can do it. Yeah. As I said, say he had a rage virus or something. I don't care what it is. Say the government brainwashed him into killing Han. I don't fucking care. Just give me an explosively stupid reason that he killed Han and can be friends with these guys.
What drives me crazy, yes, is that it's literally the difference of like one scene of dialogue that would have allowed them to do everything they already do in the movie and would have made the movie better.
It doesn't need to be plausible.
It doesn't need to. And Michelle Rodriguez said in some interview that she brought it up with them, and they said it doesn't matter. We want Statham on the team.
Which is fine.
But those things are not mutually exclusive.
Exactly.
That's what drives me crazy.
Exactly. And they never have been before. These movies have always been good about the ridiculous, internal universe and keeping it sort of making it make some weird sense.
Also, Furiosa's your villain, and you don't let her get behind the wheel of a car.
Charlize is wasted. One assumes she's going to do more in 9, or at least be in 9. Don't know.
Right.
Maybe she'll join the team, too, for all we fucking know, even though she killed, Elena.
Right. Spoiler alert. Also, spoilers, I'm going to be in 9.
Congrats. Fate was just the first time I watched it, and I was like, maybe it's time to stop making these movies.
Had fun while watching it, but
maybe 9 or 10 should be where we're starting to wrap things up, guys, rather than just like, make more of these.
I think it was our dear friend Emily Yoshida, mother of Blankies, who in her review said
best person. It's
kind of, you realize with the absence of Paul Walker, who was never the best actor in the franchise, arguably the worst actor in the franchise objectively, but he had some sort of magic power the history of that character and whatever it was. He was saying, like, Brian and Mia were the blandest characters on paper, but kind of were essential parts of the sandwich. Mm-hmm. And the thing's not really holding together without them. I think the absence of both of them is
He's a glue guy.
Yes.
And you're
right.
And
her too. I think both of them really grounded Dom especially.
I don't know about her, but him for sure, glue guy. I also disagree with the idea that F9 should be bigger. I think it should be smaller.
I agree.
I think it should be a really tight, balls to the wall, like heist thriller, escape thriller, kidnap thriller, something. Cars, just the characters, doing crazy stunts. That's it. Like, don't go to space. Don't go to Azerbaijan. Yeah. Don't go to the moon. I don't know. Don't go to Antarctica again. Like, whatever. Just do a little movie.
Yeah.
This thing made $200 million so far. It's not as good as 7.
No. 7, they're never going to have a movie gross as much as 7 again.
That this one actually might be 7.
Worldwide, sorry. Yes. Domestically, the franchise is going to peak at 7. We were talking about Nice Space Friends Part 2 right before we recorded this. I call Guardians of the Galaxy Nice Space Friends.
Yeah.
I think James Gunn is really, really smart and avoided all the sequel pitfalls.
He did. I agree.
By instead of trying to go bigger, going smaller and deeper.
Yep.
And even though it is
And
a very
just being
big scale
like,
movie,
people like these characters, so we'll just have the characters.
Story-wise, he just burrowed into them deeper. And that's what Furious 9 should do. It can still be grand scale.
Agreed.
But they need to focus on burrowing into the characters.
Agreed. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, when you rewatch 1, you're like, oh, right, the reason this is impressive is it has so much to do and does it pretty breezily. Like, it has to introduce space, the concept of, the universe, all these people in it. 10 characters.
Yes.
The Kree, the Nova Corps, like, you know, all this fucking warring factions, all that shit. And do it while also being like, hey, 70s music, and like, we're a fun movie.
And a lot of plot. And
a lot of plot.
Nice
Second
Space
movie,
Friends Part 2. They do the
anything.
Empire Strikes Back thing. They split the team in half, and one half the team is pretty stationary for most of the movie.
Yep.
Like, one half the movie is only having dialogue scenes until the last maybe 25 minutes. So you have one half of the movie is the action stuff you need, and the other half is really character stuff.
Yep. Okay. All right.
Good movie. Nice Space Friends. I like them.
Great. Here's another email from Amanda Hartle.
Yondu, though.
Yondu, though. Here's Amanda. Thanks for making such a great podcast. Thank you, Amanda.
Oh, appreciate it.
To be honest, I haven't seen the majority of the films covered, so it's great to hear the two friends talk about them.
Always weird when people say that. Like when people are like, I don't really like movies, but I like your podcast.
I'm realizing this isn't a question, but I'm going to read it anyway.
Okay, sure.
Never thought I'd laugh so much about the terminal. Feel like I should give a shout out to my mom, from my mom, who loves both We Bought a Zoo and your episode on it. Thank you, Amanda's mom. That's all.
Appreciate it. And the answer to your question
no.
is yes.
She does have 3 questions.
Oh, okay.
All right. Question 1. We can do these quick.
Sneak attack, Amanda.
Question 1. What do you think of Sense8 Season 2? I read David's review. He seems more positive than you guys were on the show. I understand why you might not do another season on the pod, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Personally, I think it's better than Season 1. I agree 100%. I assume you have not seen it.
I have not. I'm working 20 hours a day and sleeping 4.
Yeah, you're working hard.
I will watch it. I just don't have time right now.
I watched Sense8 Season 2 for my job because I volunteered to review it because not a lot of people at The Atlantic had watched Sense8 Season 1, but I had.
Humble brag.
And I think it's a lot better, actually, because they are now all linked and they can do fun stuff all the time.
I'm excited to watch it. It sounds like the show I want to see.
Rather than like the very slow setting up of all of their storylines and them resolving all their individual storylines without much help, now they can just do all this crazy, flashy stuff with them all hanging out with each other in, an art museum, and then they're in a, secret lab and shit. I still don't really know what the fuck the serialized story is, like the Whispers guy and all that. I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. But the soapy stuff, just the dazzling energy, the whole Wachowskis, like we are all connected thing.
Good orgies?
Well, I mean, the Christmas special orgy is like phenomenal.
I still haven't watched the Christmas special.
Which is really, the Christmas special is really just the first 2 episodes of Season 2.
I mean, I'll give you my advance note, not having seen it yet. I hope I love the show, but Netflix shows are too long. They should take a hint from Amazon, a great TV company.
Season 2 is only 10 episodes rather than 12. All right.
Oh, I like that.
Number 2, what films, we got a lot of questions there on this theme. What films do you really want to do an episode on that doesn't fit with the theme? Like a million films.
Yeah.
There's
I mean,
so many.
I guess the question there is like isolated films by directors that we would never cover.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of examples of movies that we love.
Who are by directors who maybe their career is not interesting enough or they didn't make enough movies or whatever.
But I also think
like, we're never going to do, who the fuck directed Miracle Mile?
Brad Silberling.
No. That's Moonlight Mile.
Oh, which one's Miracle Mile?
Miracle Mile's the crazy post-apocalyptic movie with Anthony Edwards that takes place like in a diner in L.A.
Yes.
Steve DeJarnette. We're never going to do a Steve DeJarnette movie series. That's an interesting one. Like, we're never going to do a John Borman miniseries unless we do this for 100 years.
Right.
But, like, Excalibur would be an amazing blank check.
Yeah, see, there are ones, like, more... my conflicts come in with, like, amazing blank check movies that I would want to do by directors who fully qualify as blank check directors but made, like, 40 films. You know?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's true.
Like,
of
there
course.
are Altman
yes,
movies I would love
ones.
to do.
Yeah.
But Altman would be like...
How are we ever going to do Altman? Right. And, like, even Ridley Scott, which people keep saying we should do. It's half a year.
I agree, but it's, like, insane.
Yeah.
Robert Altman's Brewster McCloud, which is essentially
I know. We've talked
tied
about it.
for
We
my
talked
favorite
about it in
movie
like
of all
the first
time.
episode of this show.
Right. Is like the ultimate blank check movie and is my favorite film, and I would love to do it, and I've suggested doing it as a one-off, but I always kind of hold off because it's like, well, is there maybe do you do an Altman in the 70s miniseries? I mean, I think you might see
do it
us
one day.
doing some more of those, hint, like what we did with Spielberg, where we kind of find a way to put
like,
ellipses around a certain part of the filmography.
Yeah.
Because they're directors we want to cover and films we want to cover, but like we don't want to have to become a Ridley Scott podcast for that long.
Exactly.
But Brewster McCloud would be if you want one answer out of me, that would be my answer.
Fine. I don't have just one answer. 3.
And on Old Dogs, obviously.
3.
I just wanted to throw out, too, I mean, I thought an example of someone who doesn't really fit in necessarily is like Hal Ashby. Because I love Harold
We
and
could totally
Maude.
do
I think
Hal.
Ashby fits.
Ashby's a great blank check choice because he made like 8 or 9 movies.
He did make many, yeah.
Well, and then there's 6 or 7 that no one talks about after the 70s.
Right.
I don't think it's that many, but here, let me just run down Ashby for you right now.
Can I try to run down his whole career? Okay. First film is The Landlord.
Correct.
Which is incredible.
Yep.
One of my 10 favorite movies. Then he follows that up with Harold and Maude.
Correct.
Oh, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay. Then the next one after that is The Last Detail.
Correct.
Then Bound for Glory.
Nope.
Shampoo.
Yep, which is a good movie.
Yep. Then Bound for Glory.
Which is okay. Have you seen Bound for Glory?
I saw it pretty recently.
Fucking long. I saw it pretty recently, too. It's not bad.
It's interesting.
It's interesting.
It also, so many of our modern music biopics are still cribbing from Bound for Glory. It kind of set a lot of templates,
but it's
which I
boring.
think diminishes it a little bit.
Yeah.
There's some really good stuff.
And
then he makes Being There.
Nope.
No, the one in between. Fuck. What's the other
Oscar
one?
winner.
Oscar winner.
Coming Home.
Oh, which I love.
Mm-hmm. Then Being There.
I just saw Being There for the first time, and my fucking mind was blown.
It's incredible.
And
it's
then
like
you're
piece
right.
of art, like
then he
so
makes
good.
Looking
It's
to Get
6
Out.
movies.
8 Million Ways to Die.
Looking to Get. Oh no, sorry. Secondhand Hearts. Looking to Get Out. Let's Spend the Night Together. Solo Trans. What the hell is
One of them's a Rolling Stones.
That's a concert film. That's a
documentary,
Neil
right?
Young.
Neil
concert
Young.
film.
Sorry.
Let's Spend the Night Together. That must be a Rolling Stones.
I think. Yeah.
Okay, so it's Secondhand Hearts, which is like Robert Blake and Barbara Harris or something.
Makes The Slugger's Wife.
Looking to Get Out with John Voight, and then The Slugger's Wife with Rebecca De Mornay.
Yeah.
And 8 Million Ways to Die with Bridges and Patty Arquette. Yeah. And then he made a couple TV movies. Anyway, all right, that's enough. We have to move on.
We'd maybe just do Ashby in the 70s because the 80s ones get kind of sad.
Maybe.
But
okay.
He's one of my top 5 favorite directors I'd love to do.
Third question, big Broadway fans. As big Broadway fans, you guys have never covered a musical. Are there any movie musicals done by directors blank checks? Like, I'm sure there are. I mean, we've talked about Baz Luhrmann briefly because he's an actually perfect, not only just in terms of the amount of movies he's made, but he fits our mode exactly.
A lot of the camera team on Tick worked on The Get Down. Because, New York production. Right. And they were saying there would be days where, like, they were ready to shoot a scene, and then Baz Luhrmann would be like, there aren't enough apples. And they'd hold up production for 3 hours so that someone could buy, like, 60 more apples. If that's not a blank check, I don't know what is.
He's a real wacko. All right, anyway. All right, we're moving on.
Not enough apples was a literal example.
Ramar Wright, a longtime fan. These are his questions from him. Did you have something more you wanted to say?
I'm trying to think of blank check musicals, but
I
don't go deep enough. Your brother would be a great
from
answer
Heaven
for that.
would be an incredible blank check movie to cover.
Yeah.
But, like, whatever. There's tons that I could think of, probably.
There are a lot of musicals I love.
Ramar Wright.
Okay.
Hard name to say.
Sure.
Number 1, at what bar did your now infamous trivia team compete?
Videology for the people.
Williamsburg, Brooklyn, on Bedford.
Used to be a video rental place. When that sort of was going down, they became a video rental place / screening room. It's a great place if you're in New York City. If you're visiting, if you live here, you should go there. It's
go to trivia on Tuesdays, hosted by Maggie. The great Maggie Ross. Maggie Ross is the best.
The best.
All right, number 2 is Peter Serafinowicz barred from listening to the podcast as a former Sith Lord.
Very good
Think
question.
about it. He voiced a Sith Lord.
He did.
Darth Maul.
He did. That is the one that he voiced.
Now, he didn't play him exactly.
No, he wasn't
Ray Park
physically.
played him.
Right.
But he did voice him.
He gave a voice.
Was he a lord, though?
I don't think so. I don't think a voice can be a lord.
No,
I think
agree.
a whole person has to be a lord.
I think
also, we want to get Peter on the podcast
100%. I'll say 2 answers to this question, okay? One, I think because there was a separation between body and voice, he is only half a Sith Lord, which means he can listen to half of the podcast. Whether that means he can only listen to half of the catalog or half of each episode, or only
he doesn't have to listen to the podcast.
One ear, one pod in, the other one out, whatever. He can choose to interpret that however he wants. He can listen to half of the podcast. The other half is forbidden.
Okay.
Second answer to the question, I know for a fact that Peter's only listened to one podcast in his entire life.
Oh, what is it?
He says he doesn't get it. Podcast in general as a form. What's it called? Pod Save America.
Yeah.
John Favreau show.
He does listen to that.
He loves that. That's the one he's The only podcast
I also
he's
listen to
ever
Pod
listened
Save
to.
America. Look, what can I say? I'm a disgusting, bougie Manhattanite, a
Good show.
Brooklynite, whatever.
Good show. I want to get Peter on the show.
Yeah, and John Lovett and, John Favreau.
Yeah.
And John Favreau, the director.
Yeah.
And,
Johnny Tons.
Tommy Vitor, all these guys.
All these guys.
All right.
Crooked Media, baby.
Number 3, if Fast and Furious crew ever goes to space and races the Guardians of the Galaxy, who wins? I don't care. I don't know. The Guardians of the Galaxy win. They have spaceships. I don't mean to diss your question.
Yeah. We get a lot of Fast and Furious questions.
Well, you do fucking talk about it incessantly.
Do I?
You also campaigned to be in the movie.
Yeah, I'm going to be a 9, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you.
All right. Do you have any answer to that? Guardians wins. They have spaceships.
No,
Fast and Furious guys have cars.
No, if they have cars, then they win. You never let them get behind the wheel of cars.
You're right.
That's the thing.
All right, they win. All right. Okay. Freddie Campbell.
The great Fred Campbell.
You should do that every time.
I used to do that on TCS After Party. Do you remember that, Ben?
Yes.
Of course.
Forgot about that.
Okay. Let's go.
Great.
Very happy to hear that Chris
After
Catholic Show is coming back, season 3,
True TV.
live on True TV.
So
That is
exciting.
very exciting.
Really exciting. I think this is going to be the season.
Agreed. Shout out to Chris
great
and
Chris
JD
Catholic.
Amato
The great JD Amato.
and Murph and so
great
many of the
Murph
people from
Yeah,
the show who
all
have
been
appeared on
guests
this
on the
show.
show.
Great
Yeah.
Bethany Hall, the great
Yes.
Shannon O'Neill.
All right.
All
Well,
of them.
we can spend all day. All right. Fred Campbell.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you guys would consider doing a series on the Coen brothers. Why not? They're the best.
I agree. They are the best.
Yeah, the only problem with the Coen brothers is they don't really fit the blank check model traditionally because they are more like well-known in Hollywood as like they get you a movie on time, under budget. They never spend too much money, like very reliable. They make whatever movie they want to make because of those reasons, and obviously they're critical favorites and they win Oscars and stuff.
My counter-argument is
Just very consistent.
I think there's one movie of theirs that is totally a blank check. It is their overreach. It is the one where they got a huge budget.
Which is?
The Hudsucker Proxy.
That is true. The Hudsucker Proxy is their blank check because 1, it cost a ton of money, 2, it kind of flopped, and 3, it sort of changed their approach to movie making.
They make Fargo after that as a rebound. I
True.
fucking love Hudsucker.
I know you do. We both love it.
I
And
know.
we both love the Coen brothers. The only other problem would be
20
we
movies.
fucking love every movie, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Let me see. I actually think I wrote it down.
But Hudsucker is would be a dream blank check episode for me.
Sure.
Hey, is it the Lady Killers?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That
that's not a
one's-
blank check, but that is the bad one.
Yeah, that one's just rough.
I mean, I'll throw this out as an advanced answer to all these questions that we're probably going to keep getting. We've considered most directors.
That's true.
Like, it's very rare someone
We've
throws
considered
something at
them,
us.
right.
Yeah, but we're always talking because, baby, we want to keep this train rolling for decades.
Here's the one thing, though. We're not doing Zack Snyder.
no.
Well,
No,
well,
we're not. And you
well-
got to nip that in the bud, man, because they think we are.
Snide Kids, though.
No, that would... All right, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Well, here's one thing I'll say definitively. Why the fuck would we do Zack Snyder before Justice League comes out? People were so convinced that we were going to do Snyder next.
Yeah.
Justice League is going to be the apex of something,
Probably.
right?
One would imagine.
Why would we do it now?
I'm worried that Batman versus Superman was the apex. Justice League, he's going to be trying to rein it in, and it'll be kind of more mediocre than it will be where you're just laughing, what the hell did he just try to do?
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, Guardians of Ga'Hoole might be his apex. Anyway.
People ask, though, do we like any of his movies? I love Dawn of the Dead. That's the one I like. But I full stop love that movie.
Dawn of the Dead's great.
Yeah.
We agree.
Yeah.
All right. Hannah Blackman, the great Hannah Blackman.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the best way to achieve blank check status? She says, is it making a lot of money? Is it winning serious awards? What's the best way to do it? I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's making a lot of money.
Yeah. I think in the olden days, the Oscar win used to give you a bigger blank check.
Let's think about our subjects.
Mm-hmm.
M. Night, obviously, he gets the blank check because of The Sixth Sense.
Right, and
That's
he
his
got
movie.
Oscar nominations.
He did, that's true. But even if he hadn't, I
Sure.
mean, the money the movie that movie made, right? It was unheard of.
Right, Matrix was money.
Wachowski's, it's
Cultural
certainly The
impact.
Matrix. Although
Yeah.
they kind of got a blank check to make The Matrix, to their credit.
Yeah,
But it was a smaller check.
sure.
They didn't get a blank check. They just got money. There's a
Right.
difference. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Rather than Getting The Matrix is like the studio's like, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to give you this budget.
Yeah.
The Matrix Reloaded or whatever, Cloud, like that's them being like, what do you guys want to do?
Yes.
Like which is sort of what we're thinking of.
Cameron's a mix. Cameron was, kind of Oscar feted. I mean,
he's more of an Oscar or critical acclaim type.
Yeah.
But he was an odd choice for us. Because it's not like Cameron Crowe's ever gotten $100 million to make a movie.
No.
And also, he did the thing where he hitched his ride to Stars. I mean, Stars wanted to work with him.
Right. I mean, I think that's a big thing. If you can get A-list stars to want to work with you, that gives you a lot of latitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, as there are all these panicked articles about the death of the movie star, there are still movie stars. If you know how to use them in the right genre, certain people at certain moments, a lot of it's timing. There are very few blank check stars where, like, this person will make $100 million in any movie regardless.
There's, of course, still, if I wanted to make a movie tomorrow and Brad Pitt said he wanted to be in it, it would get financed.
It'd get financed.
Anyway. I think money is the best way. Money is the answer to everything. We live in a sick world.
I think also, though, if you get some combination of Oscar nominations and or a win and money, you're really cooking with fire. And I think the big thing that hits, with blank check filmmakers is if the movie has some kind of cultural impact. If it taps into something that people are trying to capture.
Zeitgeist movies.
And because that's this inexplicable formula where people go, just give them money because they got to something that we don't understand. You know?
Yes.
I don't know how to quantify it. Just give them money because they are
I get it.
On the way.
We agree.
Yeah.
All right.
But money rules the world.
And part two of her question is it possible for a director to essentially place themselves in a position for a blank check? I can answer this very easily. No way. Like, some directors think they can, but that they usually aren't directors who actually get one or, kind of get famous.
Yeah, and a lot of the blank check breakthrough movies kind of feel like accidents in one way or another. And a lot of them also have these kind of troubled production histories. The one that gives them the breakthrough, kind of comes out of nowhere to some degree or another.
Matt DiCostanza.
Yeah. The great Matt DiCostanza?
He says a lot of stuff about how great our podcast is and how it's replaced. You Talking You Two to Me is his favorite or part of his routine. I would say if there's any podcast that our podcast is sort of inadvertently modeled on, it is probably You Talking You Two to Me. That idea of like, let's take a piece of pop culture and spin it into like all kinds of conversations or whatever.
Do you know I've never listened to it?
Oh, you really should.
I'm big into Analyze Fish, and I've never listened through to
You Talking You Two to Me is the fucking best.
Yeah. But we're definitely, I will say, we're very indebted to the whole Earwolf aesthetic and Scotty Ox. I mean, we're both huge fans of him and the sort of style.
All right, this is a very long question. Agreed, totally agreed.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Scott Ackerman.
And Mark Maron,
in a nice way.
Yeah.
Lock the gates.
Lock the gates.
He talks about Godzilla a lot. What's your favorite Godzilla movie? Essentially, I'm trying to boil like 3 paragraphs into a question here.
I mean, the original
Gojira.
Yeah, Gojira. The Japanese cut, I think, is like a full stop masterpiece.
So you're not like a Mothra guy?
Well, no. Well, this is what I was going to say.
Your guy?
I mean, who are my guys? King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah.
I used to work the door at the Comedy Store, and I remember Rodan would come in every week, and he said, "This week I'm just going to do a jazz set." Dumb, stupid, fuck you, Griff. Gojira's the best movie ever made starring
That's a very
Godzilla.
Cool movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's a real substantial
I'm not a Godzilla
kind of haunted
expert.
movie. I always get the title wrong because it's really fucking long. But the All Out Attack, it's like it's from 2001, and it's called like Godzilla versus Mothra versus whatever, Giant Monsters All Out Attack.
It is called Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack.
I was pretty close on the title.
Pretty good.
Giant Monsters All Out Attack is my favorite one.
Cool.
In terms of Godzilla awesomeness.
I have 2 side questions based on this question. One, what did you think of Kong Skull Island? Note, it is bad.
Okay, so here's my hot take. It is bad.
Mm-hmm. Bad. Are you now worried about Godzilla King of Monsters? Probably not, right? Because that has a good director.
It has Michael Dougherty, who I like.
I love Michael Dougherty. I thought, his 2 little horror movies are really
Krampus?
good. Krampus and Trick or Treat? Are those the 2?
Yeah.
Great.
And
he sounds good.
X2, X-Men Unite remains a paragon of...
Well, he wrote that. And
right,
Superman
but
Returns.
superhero screenwriting.
Totally agreed.
Yeah.
As does Superman Returns. But then, so it's like they're doing that, and then they're doing King Kong versus Godzilla?
Correct.
Is that... Who's directing that?
Unknown.
Better not be that Jordan Vogt Roberts.
Agreed. But I'll say this. Look, I mean, I thought Kong Skull Island was more like crap skull bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing in it that like is they can just make a King Kong versus Godzilla movie and just have King Kong show up and be made by a good director with a good screenwriter and it'll be fine. I don't think King Kong entering into the Godzilla franchise will carry any bullshit baggage with it. No. Especially since that movie is set 40 years before the Godzilla films are set. You know, because they're in present day.
Yeah, I don't want to
just have a giant monkey show up and fight Godzilla. I love Godzilla. I like King Kong a lot. Sure. I didn't like that movie. No. If they hire a good director, I'll be excited for the fight up.
What you guys think of Power Rangers?
That was my second question.
Oh, I can beat you to it.
All right. Power Rangers. Did you see it?
Still haven't seen it.
You gotta see it.
Yeah.
Ben, did you see it?
I didn't see it, but I heard really good things.
I want to say on the record, I've said it on Twitter, Griffin was like, it's going to be good. We watched the trailer together, to be fair, in this very studio.
Correct.
And I was like, this looks bad. And when we watched the trailer, you were like, all right, look, the trailer doesn't look great. You did sort of back down a little bit.
But I said it looks goofy and fun.
Right, and I was like, I don't think it does. I thought it looked more like they were just making... Yeah, like, and the thing is, the first 2 minutes of the movie, it's like this gritty car chase. I mean, no, that's actually not true. The prologue is like naked Zordon fighting Rita Repulsa like 65 million years ago. That's great, and that's when I was like, oh, shit. And then there's like this gritty Friday Night Lights scene where like Jason crashes his car, and it just like cuts to black, and then in the like corner, it's like Power Rangers in like lower cases.
Oh, fuck that.
And we were like, come on! No! And then the movie's great.
Okay.
Gotta see it.
I humble brag, I'm a professional superhero, and I've been behind on movies because of that. I will see it at some point. I just am still proud that I was right about it being goofy fun, even though I'm the idiot who still hasn't seen it.
James Harper.
Oh, wait, hold on. One last. What? Guys see Colossal.
Ooh, yes.
That is good.
Big fan. Liked it a lot. I know, David, you were a little more mixed on it.
A little more mixed. I did like it. I liked it.
I liked it because I liked thinking of all these shitty men's rights type dudes seeing it and being like, what?
This is a podcast of allies. There's no question that we are allies.
This is a safe space here.
Yeah.
I like giant monsters. I like Godzilla. I thought it was a really smart
take. The metaphor mostly clicked for me. I had some problems with it. I don't want to go into it right now.
That Sudeikis is a really good actor. We don't give enough credit.
He's a good actor.
I think he's a real good actor.
One of my problems with the movie is him, I will say. Mostly because I just always think he's a creep. And so when the turn comes, which also the turn is real sharp. It's a sharp turn. Sure. I was kind of like, it didn't totally work for me. But whatever.
Minor spoilers.
It's a pretty good movie.
I liked it a lot. My favorite movie of the year is still Lego Batman movie. Nothing's gonna dethrone that, baby.
That can't be true. Please don't say that.
I keep on going to movies and going, this feels pretty good. This might dethrone Lego Batman, and then they're just hanging around the top.
I barely remember the Lego Batman
masterpiece.
Okay. Did you see Lost City of Z?
Yeah.
That didn't beat the Lego Batman movie?
No.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Oh, I'm
so
mad at you.
Found me, Batman, and I found you. You know that at the end when the little British boy sings the song?
Vaguely. I did see this movie.
It's a great movie.
William Taylor asks, he asks if we've warmed up to Sense8. I guess we really were negative about Sense8 because I remember us being kind of into it.
Yeah, I mean, we were a little crazy.
We were very tired because we just binged it.
I pulled an all-nighter watching that. I found it frustrating, but I feel like a lot of the things I took out on Sense8 were more, here's a chance to explain a lot of what I find frustrating about TV in general right now.
Agreed. I think we both agree on that.
Yes.
2, and please keep this very brief.
Okay.
You've made your stance on Walt Becker's Old Dogs on the Road Trip clear, but how do you feel about the rest of Becker's oeuvre?
It's bad.
It is? What are the other ones?
Van Wilder.
The first one?
Correct.
Bad movie.
Wild Hogs.
Right.
Old Dogs.
Right.
And Alvin the Chipmunks for The Road Trip.
Yeah.
I think he's made one other film maybe that I haven't seen. They're bad. They're bad. I mean, I don't think he's very interesting. I think Old Dogs is really interesting because of just it got filtered through some weird communication device that warped it into the most weirdly transgressive children's film ever made. He's shitty, and I don't think he has a very interesting brain. I think Old Dogs is kind of an accidental masterpiece in terms of it being so perverse. Generally, I think he's just kind of a crass, dumb...
Yeah, he's a shithead.
Right, and he's a bro, and he's got
he's a real bro.
Weird, backwards opinions and viewpoints on everything, and he's gross sexually. And he made these 2 kind of bro-y gay panic movies in Van Wilder and Wild Hogs.
And then, Buying the Cow, which is the other movie, which is a real gay panic movie in which Ryan Reynolds' character like thinks he slept with a man, but he didn't. And so he spends the whole movie being like, am I gay? And
So all jokes aside, I find Old Dog's really fascinating because it's throwing that level of weird comedy sensibility into the packaging of a Disney family movie, and the juxtaposition is very, very odd and jarring. I was hopeful that Alvin and the Chipmunks 4 would have the same sort of weird disconnect. It doesn't, save for the John Waters cameo where Alvin references that they both like eating shit.
okay.
Oh, can I say Chips looks very funny?
No, it doesn't.
I don't know if you know this, but
It's so funny, that running bit, though, you know?
I actually haven't even seen the trailer.
Where
Really?
he
Oh,
sort of
jeez.
touches
Mostly because
the
that
guy's
was the
dick.
reaction everyone had to the trailer.
okay, so you get to go to screenings and not have to see trailers all the time?
Right. I never see trailers. Well, rarely. I mean, I'm going to see some now because I'm just going to see Guardians. But I'm going to the Alamo where I feel like they...
Nice Space Friends?
Nice Space Friends too. Where the Alamo like curates even the fucking trailers.
They would
you
never
know?
play a Chips trailer.
Yeah.
I felt like I saw the Chips trailer before every movie for 6 months. And the Chips trailer literally has 4 different jokes that are like, how gross would it be if one man was next to another man and penises were involved in some way? 4
Great. That'd be
different
great.
jokes. It did well.
I want to say, speaking of 4,
Yeah.
it'll have come out by now. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, which is... We should probably do Guy Ritchie someday because boy, oh boy, is
What
that
a weird career.
Is that a movie at war with itself? 4 times in that movie, 4 times is a woman, a nameless woman, murdered to advance the plot. It is shameless how many times this happens. Jude Law murders 2 of his family members. He does the same thing twice to like turn into a magical skull beast. 2 other women get their throats cut, like literally in front of King Arthur, so he can go like, ah! Anyway,
Can I say something
shameless.
about King Arthur Legend of the Sword very quickly?
You should see it.
I will. Of course I will. What you have to encourage me to see King Arthur Legend of the Sword. I'm Griffin. I'll see that movie.
Yeah.
First of all, that movie was the cover story on Entertainment Weekly's Hot Summer Preview in 2015.
Weird.
So that's how long that movie's been sitting around. Yeah. Secondly, that movie was put in development after a 7-figure pitch by 2 screenwriters
I know,
who
to
came
make
in.
5 movies.
I believe 7.
I think it's 5, but sure.
They said King Arthur Cinematic Universe, 1 movie for each of the Knights of the Round Table.
Look.
Man, I can't wait for Gawain, the Legend of
Green
the
Knight.
Sword continues.
No, seriously, because Merlin, Gawain, Guinevere, like a lot of the characters you might think of as Lancelot, like Arthurian characters, not in this movie. And
They were saving them for separate movies.
It is very obvious that they're going to be like, next Lancelot shows up and he's played by fucking...
Because I remember hearing that Idris Elba was going to play Merlin, I think to tease everything.
Doesn't
Fuck literally everything.
All right,
Also,
James
there's
Harper.
a similar, someone pitched a fucking, and sold a Robin Hood cinematic universe where there's a separate movie for each of the merry men.
The thing about all of this is just, it's free because there's no rights to those things. So it's easy to try and fool yourself into thinking this is a good idea. It's not a good idea. Okay.
But basically, if you want to make money in Hollywood, walk into a studio and go, there's 7 of them.
Okay, I got a pitch.
Yeah.
Canterbury Tales.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to happen.
1 movie for each tale.
Yeah.
All right, James Harper.
Okay, the great
David.
James Harper. The great James Harper.
Why shouldn't I be watching Fargo? Answer, it's not good.
Counterpoint, it's the best. Next question.
David, you're so wrong.
No, I'm not.
It's so good.
Best show on television.
He also says that I'm too mean to you and it harms our brand as the 2 friends. That's not true.
Okay, can I use this as a jumping off point for a second?
Sure.
I see on the internet a lot of people who go, ugh, God, I can't stand this show anymore. I love it, but every time Griffin goes on one of his tangents, da-da-da-da-da. And I also see a lot of people on the internet
there's also people
who go,
who say,
I can't stand this show anymore. David shutting down Griffin's tangents, da-da-da-da-da. There are all these people who go, I love the show, but I hate one of the 2 friends. Guess what, baby? There are hashtag 2 friends on this show.
and we are friends.
You take both or you take neither. Love it or leave it.
Are you watching Fargo season 3?
Yes.
I haven't started yet.
What do you think, Ben?
I mean, it's, I think, really, really strong. And it's continuing to not disappoint me.
Great. So happy for you.
I know it's slow, and I think he's definitely now making
Out of
it
ideas.
more and more have
Weird,
just-
quirky bullshit happen just because he doesn't know what to do.
But at the same time, I love it, and it's still
glad you
good
love it.
storytelling
Glad
and
you
really
love it.
good characters and great filmmaking. So I'm going to defend it, David. I think it's still fucking strong.
David's rolling his eyes. Here's my hot take. Great TV show.
No. All right, John Paul Ruby. I really just think it's derivative, and like I don't like Noah Hawley. It doesn't matter.
Okay, I think your butt is derivative.
Come on, they start out in West Germany. Now they're in L.A. and she's finding out about old Hollywood stuff. It's quirky.
David,
it's
that's
good.
a big point.
Come on.
He's our finest film critic.
It's a TV show. Jean Paul Ruby.
But our TV shows now like 13-hour movies. If you really think about it,
wouldn't everyone want to go see a 13-hour movie?
I'll say it again: cancel TV. No more TV.
Agreed. John Paul Ruby. Question number 1. What is your
John Paul Ruby?
Yes. What is your greatest moment of professional embarrassment? I don't even know what the answer to that question is. I haven't been like professionally embarrassed a lot. Knock on wood.
I feel like I can give you an answer.
Please.
And I'm sure people.
That's why I asked. I figured you'd have.
Yeah. There was a recent, I think last Thanksgiving or something, my family got into a spirited debate over what the worst Griffin Newman movie was. And everyone in my family was arguing over what the worst thing I've been in was.
What was the consensus pick?
It was like a tie. Like, each member had a different movie and was arguing strongly, like, no, but you haven't seen Naomi and Eli's Kiss List. That one's really bad. My mom was like, no, but Free the Nipple. Like, it was like a
Free the Nipple is not great. It does have tits in it.
Look. A lot of clunkers in the filmography.
A lot of knockers.
Yeah, a lot of knockers. That is a weird thing that I think about is like I've been in a fair amount of movies where I'm in the frame next to female nudity, and it's like, oh, I'm on like blogs that people masturbate to.
Mm-hmm. You're on Mr. Skin or whatever.
I am.
Right.
Yeah, for Tilden, I'm in like a 20-minute nude scene.
Yeah, there you go.
Where I'm framed around. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not nude yet.
I'm not, but I'm saying I probably am like the person that someone's putting their hand over while they jerk off.
They have to put. Anyway, look.
They don't want to look at me while they're.
No, I understand, and you're doing a very
saying.
great motion.
Give
there.
yourself some credit. Maybe they're jerking off to you too.
They're putting their hand over the women.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that's the answer to my question. No,
my
here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. I've been in a lot of movies I'm embarrassed by, but in terms of my own work, there's a French TV show.
I know what mine is.
There's a French TV show called Taxi Brooklyn.
Of course.
Okay.
Damn right there is.
Which
some of my friends reviewed.
I know. Esther went way too easy on me in her review of the show.
Sure.
Taxi Brooklyn is a television series adaptation of Taxi,
yes,
the French franchise of Luc Besson-produced action comedies, which were remade as an aborted franchise starter,
Latifah,
right? Which was set in New York.
Yeah,
this is not a television series of Taxi, the Queen Latifah, Jimmy Fallon movie, which is set in New York. This is an adaptation of the French show, which is also set in New York, in Brooklyn. There was a part in that in the casting breakdown said was written for a young Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle. I got the email. I said, are you sure this isn't a mistake? They said, just go in. I went in and did it. I was like, that's the worst audition I've ever done. 12 hours later, they hired me. So I was like, this is really offensive. How am I? They wrote this.
This is a bit of a brag, though, because you got a job.
I got a job, but I don't know why. Because they were dumb.
I'm cutting you off unless you have any more.
I to try to get around giving them the energy they wanted, but not having to do a fucking back in blackface. Can you show me how to get to racism street performance? Played my character like Bugs Bunny. And I think it's really fucking weird, and I'm very embarrassed by it.
That's great.
That's my greatest professional.
In my early days of the AV Club, and maybe some old school AV commenters probably remember this, I was reviewing It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I did not realize that Roddy Piper played like a broken down wrestler in one episode. And
you're talking about the great Roddy Piper?
He really is great. I mean, I rewatched They Live recently. We should do Carpenter someday. And I believe in the review, I was like, and whoever played that guy was great. And the commenters were livid. I mean, the famously lovely AV Club commenters basically wanted me fired immediately for not being able to recognize him.
R.
And this is the thing, like, you got to watch the fucking episode and then write the recap in 20 minutes. You know, like, it is a stressful period, and I was new to it. Oh, boy. I will never live that down. That was one of the worst mistakes I've ever made.
Double RP, that was a big mistake.
So mine is when I was performing comedy and just, like, sort of starting to work at Sirius XM, I had a crust punk mullet.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm so glad that there's not many pictures of me, but man, did I look like an asshole.
The question number 2. What were your first date movies? Mine were X2 and the Lizzie McGuire movie. Follow up, how'd those dates go? My first date movie was 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay.
They went great. How about you?
My first date movie was Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh, good movie.
And it doomed my 6th grade relationship because she kept on saying my hands are so cold, trying to get me to hold her hands, probably move on up to kissing. I was too into the movie. I went, oh, that's so weird. I feel warm. I wouldn't touch her the entire film because I was wrapped.
Oh, boy. There's a third question about going to jail.
That's my life in a microcosm, by the way. Refusing to hold a girl's hand because Josie and the Pussycats had my attention.
This guy asked 4 questions.
Okay.
I'm not going to... FM, fuck, marry, kill, Ray Reddy, Joey the Horse.
Wait. I want to hear Ben's answer for that one, actually. What was your first movie date?
Okay. I just, you know.
I know, but this is a good one for Ben.
Sorry, say the question.
First date movie.
First date
movie. Fuck. I remember the Mel Gibson one, What Women Want.
Yeah, Nancy Meyers movie.
But
I
feel like I've gone to...
He doesn't have an answer.
Okay, great.
I'll think about it. Check
Fuck,
back
marry,
in.
kill, Ray
All right.
Reddy, Joey the Horse, and Sio Bibble. Now, my answers are very clear to this. 1, fuck Sio Bibble. 2, marry Joey the Horse. 3, kill Ray Reddy. Ray Reddy being M. Night Shyamalan's character in Signs, for people who've forgotten.
I agree on all 3 counts.
Agreed.
Hey, you want to hear something cool? Mel Gibson's wife in Signs plays my mom on The Tick.
Mel Gibson's wife in Signs.
She has that
Who's,
amazing
like, in that
scene
one
where she's
scene
pinned
where
against
she's
the
dying.
tree.
What's
Yeah.
her name?
Don't ask me this on air. This is so embarrassing.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. For biggest
Ben, cut that
professional
out.
embarrassment.
Okay.
Ben, double it.
She's a lovely actress. She's amazing on the show.
Okay, Kyle Wilson. Since I missed it in the theater, I waited till Split came to streaming to listen to it, yada, yada, yada. And on the Split episode, apparently, I was super dismissive of the first couple episodes of Legion, calling it terrible and awful. Griffin had not seen it. I watched it and loved it. Penultimate episode's one of my favorites ever. Wonder if David's opinion had changed or if Griffin watched it. My opinion, Legion's really bad. The first 2 episodes were fucking good compared to the shit that followed. My God. And then at the end, they literally do an episode where someone just stands in front of a chalkboard and is like, all right, so let me explain the plot of Legion, and literally just sketches out what's been happening. What do you think?
I'm going to get a big rubber stamp so I can keep on answering all these questions with, I've been busy, haven't seen it.
You really have a problem with that showrunner.
Noah
David?
Hawley. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I really do. And I do think he's part of a larger problem in quote-unquote our tourist television where people are just not being asked to sell me on a plot, like, within an episode. Like, I really do think it's wrong. I just watched the American Gods pilot, which looks good, and I like Brian Fuller, but fuck that pilot. It's 60 minutes. Nothing fucking happens.
Yeah, get ready for a clean half-hour Tick series coming August 25th to Amazon Prime, baby.
Thank you. Did you watch Legion, Ben?
I have not.
You'd probably dig it. Eric Spratling. You probably would. It's like real psychedelic and weird. I think you'd like it.
The great Eric Spratling.
I'm not sure if you'd like it, but you might.
I'm into it. I'm gonna give it a try. I like dressed down superhero stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean, shit. I watched all of that garbage, fucking Iron Fist.
You watched all of that?
I know.
Jesus,
I
Joanna
just like
watched all
putting
that.
it on.
Fucking
It was
insane.
like,
I mean, she hated it too.
it was great. It was just like sounds that I could fall asleep to.
Yeah, I think that's how Joanna treated it as well. I can't imagine watching those.
Ben, if you like dress down superheroes, spoiler alert, I wear a poncho for an entire episode.
Ooh, what color's the poncho?
Blue, baby.
Ah, good choice.
Good. Poncho. Okay, here we go. Eric Spratling.
The great Eric Spratling.
Apologies if I missed this on a previous ep, but how did you two and the Haas meet each other and become so close? Hashtag Two Friends Origins.
Yeah, I mean,
We've talked about it. We met on Twitter.
David and I met on Twitter.
Alyssa Stanoa introduced us.
The great Alyssa Stanoa introduced us because we had both tweeted about having a crush on Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, which now feels like super hacky, but whatever.
Right, she was like, you guys should be friends. We got drinks.
We went and we got drinks.
We
Did
saw
see a
Stories
movie?
We Tell, the Sarah Polley film.
Stories We Tell. Not a bad movie.
But we met
the Angelica.
with me entering late into the theater. You were already seated.
Correct.
I sat down next to you at the end of the movie. We went and got drinks.
Had a nice time. You
Crime Scene
cried,
Lounge, I think
cried-
was the bar we went to.
That's right. You cried about Melania a bunch. You were
I think it had not.
No, it had. It had happened.
It had. Okay, they had passed
Yeah.
on it at that point.
Yeah. I think they had passed on it, but you had not. The Fox stuff had
The
not
Fox
yet
stuff
happened.
hadn't happened yet.
And then I saw you again, maybe a while later. You can figure it out from the release
Went to
dates.
see the Bling
we
Ring.
saw the Bling Ring.
Yes.
After that, my friend Pilot, who has been on this
Yes,
show,
on the show.
texted me and said, "Come go to movie trivia."
Yes.
And me and you were like, "Yeah, fuck it, why not?" So we went to movie trivia in Williamsburg,
At Videology.
and we saw Bling Ring in the Chelsea, so
Correct.
we took a taxi.
And I don't know if you remember this, but we went from Bling Ring in Chelsea to Walter's Bar in Chelsea, and there was a trivia night happening there.
And it was bad.
Right, and I was like, I like
It
trivia.
was like,
we should
what's
stay
the
here and do
capital of
this.
Italy?
Yeah,
or
I was like,
you know,
I like bar trivia, though.
No, I know. When I was into it too, but then it was shitty.
But then when Pilot texted us,
We were like, oh,
movie trivia.
We went there. We showed up. It was a mob scene, and Pilot was like, this sucks. It's too hard. Like, you know, they were already kind of not into it.
We walked into a guest round that was Disney, and I suddenly knew the answer to every question. Everyone on the team was like, oh. And then we sort of like took over the answer sheet and started answering
and
everything.
Pilot had named the team Quiz Kid Donnie Smith, and
After
so that was
Magnolia.
our first name.
Right. And then Pilot like kept coming with us for maybe 2 more weeks before she bowed out.
We bowed out.
And then just became us as a 2-person team. And then we slowly, Chase Mitchell, Rachel Lang.
A lot of friends, you know. But anyway, that's right. Me and Griffin started seeing each other every week at trivia, and that's really
That's when we became
good
great friends.
Griff and Ben, they were friends making the TCGS show.
Yes, Riley Soller and I did a podcast called Talking TCGS for the Cave Comedy Radio Network, and Ben was a new hire. We'd been doing the show for a couple months, and then he got hired on as a new producer, and he came in, and it was love at first sight.
Yeah, it was great, man.
But this is the third podcast Ben and I have done together.
It's been really, really fun working and getting to be good friends with you, Griffin. And then we got to bring David into this friendship, and now we got 3 friends.
Well, that's how you met David as well, was when David was a guest host on Talking TCGS.
That's right.
And so you met him through that.
And then you guys, we already have talked about this in the 100th episode, pitched my boss a crazy, crazy idea, and now here we are.
What if we just talk about Phantom Menace?
Okay, Christopher McRae.
Okay, the great Christopher McRae.
Hey guys, Chris here, long-time listener, yada, 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 ComCheck trip recipient.
Oh, that's cool.
He says that he misses the investigative angle, like when the premise of Shyamalan was, can you be a good filmmaker when most of your films are bad? He'd like it if we brought us that back. But that's kind of what Blank Check is.
Agreed.
You know,
I think there's always an investigation. You know, what happened?
Yeah,
why
exactly.
did they get the blank check? Who are they? Why did they connect? Why did they stop
the
connecting?
investigation angle is something that Ben suggested to us as a way of getting us to stop being such fucking idiots when we were pitching the show.
We were being fucking idiots.
Because we were like, no.
You don't understand.
35 episodes on The Phantom Menace. We've got all the
for an
names.
hour.
God.
We'll just figure out ways to talk about it.
No, but I do think the investigative thing lands there because I think the show is, first and foremost, us trying to understand the psychology of these filmmakers. You know, I mean, I think if the investigation is less focused on trying to get one answer, perhaps, but there still is an investigation there. I will say this, Michael Bay, who we thought we were going to do next, and then people sort of caught wind of that and got really upset. I think that was going to be more of an investigation. I think that season was going to be more of what people are asking us to do.
We'll do
it at some point. But people go, I missed this thing, and then we had an answer that fit all of it, and I think it was going to be different than what you blankies thought we were going to do.
It was going to be 5 Transformers movies. Anyway, Emmanuel Macron just won the French election with 65% of the vote.
Damn it.
No, it's good.
Oh, okay.
He's a
good,
left-wing guy. I mean, he's centrist, but, you know. Le Pen, who's the leader of the far right, she lost.
Do you know why I said God damn it?
Why? Go ahead.
Because I thought a macaroon had just been elected president of France.
I don't even want to talk about this.
dessert.
We should elect a dessert. Okay.
Oh,
but,
that would be great.
okay, look, I just want this guy
that
also
delicious chocolate cake
all right,
that Trump had. We
Christopher
should elect
McRae.
that.
Christopher McRae.
The great Christopher McRae.
Also gathered. He said every time we've ever talked about doing like episodes or shows.
Okay.
So here's a little list of things we've apparently discussed. Lucas non-Star Wars. We do have to do that one day.
Agreed.
He says Howard the Duck should be included. Debatable.
Perhaps.
Adam's Family Values. I love that movie so much. Just a one-off. But Sonnenfeld might be a fun, you know, there's a lot there.
I would love to do something.
The only problem with Sonnenfeld is it's just, not that his bad movies aren't interesting, but there are quite a few of them.
Yes. Have you seen 9 Lives?
No. But it's
I'd
kind of a
love
movie we
Sonnenfeld.
might have some fun with.
Sonnenfeld's a real Fall from Grace guy.
Talking fanfare, where we just talk about studio logos.
I would do that, no question.
We would have to mix in some production company, you know, like talk about some Morgan Creeks and Castle Rock.
Orion is a good one.
It's crazy now how you fucking like sit down front of any blockbuster movie and there's 14 logos. Like, you know, half the companies are Chinese or Indian or whatever. Like, you know, it's like it's getting big.
It is insane. I do
studio
think
logo business.
the next time we have an itch to do an episode like this, though, we should do Talkin' Fanfare. I'm 100% down to do that. Okay.
Legend with J.D. Amato. JD's always pushed for that.
Right.
It would be part to me of a Ridley Scott. Maybe we could curate a Ridley
something.
Scott.
We figure out some
like we don't have
through
to
line.
do White Squall.
Right.
Even though White Squall isn't bad.
Hulking the Hulk. Does he put
Blank
that on
check. Looks like we cashed that one. We did. Adam Sandler. It's true. We could have some fun with that. Dark Knight trilogy. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Batman Forever. Oh.
David. Okay, so David
I once pitched. Go ahead.
Just doing the 4, essentially the
Burton Batman universe, because Burton produced Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, and they're all linked.
Right.
Those are 4 movies.
I would call them the Pat Hingle, Michael Gough films.
Absolutely,
because they're
that's
the
what you
2
call
actors
them.
who bridge the 4.
They do.
Yeah.
So that I do want to, because I think that's. I mean, there's no better blank check narrative than what happened with those movies.
My counterpoint to that was do every Batman movie. And David balked at that. But we came very close to doing that. We thought about doing a little baby miniseries.
He only wanted to do it because he wanted to do Lego Batman movie.
I want to do Lego Batman movie so well. It's a masterpiece. I'll also say, Hulking the Hulk, which I know we promised for a while. We'll do
Ang Lee someday.
Yeah. We came very close to doing Ang Lee when in place of Spielberg. Mm-hmm. We, for a long time, were planning on doing Ang Lee.
I want to do Ang Lee.
Right after
You're
James
the one who's
Cameron.
not into Ang Lee.
I was into it. I don't remember.
You're less into Ang Lee. That's just all that there is to it. I'm not even accusing. I think it's just true. You're just a little less excited about it.
I don't know about that. I would love to fucking.
Let's
I'm the dude who wants
then.
to talk about Hulk.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I dare you to do an Ang Lee miniseries.
Samuel Jackson's glasses. Do not remember what the context on this one is. I don't either, but I thought we were going to do hair pieces.
Yeah.
He's got some crazy hair pieces.
Sounds like a really funny bit.
On blank check.
That we forget.
CJ Thomas asks.
Okay. Oh, this is a new question.
Yeah. What podcasts do you guys listen to? Hollywood Handbook? We Hate Movies? You listen to Hollywood Handbook.
I listen to Hollywood Handbook. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. What else do I listen to?
Looking at my podcast.
I'll tell you what my top, new episode comes out, I listen to it immediately, rotation is, because, once again, been busy lately, slimmer media diet. A lot of the shows I usually listen to, I haven't been keeping up with.
Crooked Media? Carry on.
The 3 I really keep up with are Hollywood Handbook, Doughboys, and Harmontown.
I fell off the Harmontown train. How is it these days?
I love it. I think it's really great. It's definitely transitioned into something new. The cast has changed and the vibe has changed.
It lost me when it got more political, honestly.
Oh, boy. I still love it. And then, of course, Black Man Can't Jump in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. I love.
I endorse basically all of these. Although I've never listened to Doughboys, but I keep meaning to.
Love Doughboys. It's my fucking favorite. That's like, even when I'm on set, if a new Doughboys comes out, I'm listening to it 5 minutes at a time in between takes or whatever. Like, I love Doughboys.
I listen to Blank Check with Griffin and David, which is a great podcast.
A really good podcast.
I listen to Fighting in the War Room. I listen to It's Cool Like Anime, which is Emily's podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts that the people who've been on this show make, Little Cold Men. Then I just listen to the canon. Mm-hmm. I've been a long-time fan. I'm glad it's back. And Masterpiece Cinema I listen to. We're going to be on that soon, actually, I think.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to
do you know I'm angling to be the most frequent guest they've had on the show? I have a very aggressive campaign. I think I'm going to do the Cars 3 episode coming up soon.
You should. And then I listen to a ton of basketball podcasts. I won't mention them all, but The Starters is the best.
Great, because you're not allowed to mention them. Yeah. Other shows I listen to, I like Film Spotting a lot, This American Life, Grandma's Virginity podcast, Justin Roiland's podcast, which isn't happening anymore. I loved Reply All. Beautiful Anonymous, and I very recently just got into my brother and me after people told me for years I should listen to it, and it's great.
Yeah, totally.
But Doughboys, Harmontown, and whatchamacallit, Hollywood Handbook are like my holy trinity.
Okay.
Hey, I get to answer.
Ben?
I listen to way too many podcasts because I do it for a living, but I will say one show I do very much enjoy is called The Dollop. It's a great history comedy podcast. Also, gotta give a big shout out to my boy Brian Leher. Love him. Leher.
Yeah, Leher.
Anyway,
he's the best.
I listen to his daily show as a podcast because if I miss it in the morning, I gotta get me some Brian.
Love Brian. Okay, I gotta keep us moving because we're taking too long. Okay. As always. All right, Ben, do you have any good weed stories? Please don't answer that question.
Yeah, no. Here's my answer. Yes.
Yeah,
Ben has good weed stories.
Go get a drink with Ben sometime. Yeah. Griffin, is Ray Romano a chill dude in real life?
Really chill.
So chill.
Really
I've
chill.
also interviewed Ray Romano. Seems very chill.
We talked a lot about anxiety.
Yeah, he's good at talking about anxiety. He's got his little bottle of Ativan or whatever.
Yeah, he carries around a necklace.
Which is great, and he never opens it.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great, really, really a great dude.
David, do you still have anger towards The Following, which was the Fox serial killer drama starring Kevin Bacon that I reviewed for the AV Club?
And Valerie Curry, my on-screen sister.
That's true.
Gotta keep plugging the Tick.
Did make fun of it a lot. I have no lingering anger towards The Following. I mostly think of it with fondness. There's this one episode, the serial killer played by James Purefoy?
Correct.
Is that right?
It's
I always
James
confuse
Purefoy,
him
yes.
and another one.
Yes.
But he's writing a novel because he's a novelist and a serial killer. He loves Edgar Allan Poe, and all his followers murder people in Edgar Allan Poe masks. And he just is like, he's just writing, and then he just writes a bunch of question marks. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a serious show. Kit Fisto or Gra Gra? Gra Gra.
Garga.
Yeah, Gethard's not here. Gethard was here. He could make his Fisto.
He'd make his Fisto. Look, Gethard throwing down the gauntlet. You want to argue for Fisto? Come back on the show.
Lucas Rutten. I know this is a new question.
I'm sorry. You mean the great Lucas Rutten?
Correct.
Okay.
I
cool.
know that David mentioned in the Crow miniseries that Jerry Maguire is the cinematic equivalent of comfort food for him. Movie you can just put on. You know what I mean by that. He wants to know what other movies you feel like that about. For him, it's Clue and Like Mike.
Weird. I saw another Clue question today.
Like Mike is, I believe, no. Which is the one that Jonathan Lipnicki and Lil Bow Wow are in?
Like Mike.
He is, right?
That's Like Mike, yeah.
So 2 Jonathan Lipnicki movies have made cinematic comfort food.
Yeah. My answers are Little Vampires and Stuart Little 2.
Good.
I'm glad we both knew I was going to say Stuart Little 2.
P.S. Do you eat any other food than bagels?
Yeah.
You eat chicken tenders.
I eat chicken tenders, pizza, and tacos. That's the end of my list. I'm a little boy.
Tintin is obviously a comfort food movie for you.
Yeah,
I
mean, the Toy Story ones are big ones for me, obviously.
Oh, you like those?
Yeah, I like them a little bit. I'll tell you a weird comfort food movie for me. Everyone's always weirded out with this answer, especially since most of my comfort food movies are children's films that are calm to watch. The Master is weirdly a comfort food movie for me. When I can't fall asleep, I rewatch The Master. I find that movie very as
that's cool, man. No, I've got movies
psychosexually
like,
upsetting as it is. I find it very calming, just the rhythms and the look.
For
of the
me,
movie.
Master and Commander is like that.
Weird.
I was in the worst mood a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Joanna was like, "What are we gonna do about you?" And I put on Master and Commander. I'm like, "Look, he's gonna play cello now. Look, pay attention. Like it immediately just settles me down."
There will be blood. That's like, for me,
Interesting.
I love
Yeah.
to put that on and fall asleep to that, which is crazy.
Yeah, but I hear that.
Silence of the Lambs too.
Oh, I love watching that movie. That is a great answer.
Fucking Demi.
Oh, fucking Demi. That's a
bummer.
Very sad. I wrote an obituary for him. I loved Jonathan Demme. He would be perfectly wonderful
He'd be a great
black check
one
candidate.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he remade The Manchurian Candidate
And
it was
Charade.
good,
And Charade,
that
which
one
wasn't
wasn't
good. Right.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Paul O'Regan asks, are there any almost made the big time directors you haven't seen who haven't made a movie in years you'd like to see make a comeback, such as Karen Kusama did with The Invitation? It's a tough one to answer off the top of the old dome.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are people like that where you're like, whatever happened to blah? Like, like who the fuck were the people who made American Splendor?
Berman and Pucci.
Yeah, like what the hell happened to
Pucci. Yeah, they're doing something new now. I forget what it is.
I even like that movie, but that just strikes me as like people who hit it big and then went away.
Yeah, there are definitely
Puccini.
This doesn't totally fit into it because Mississippi Grind was pretty recent, but I'm pretty excited to see Bowden Fleck do Captain Marvel. Sugar is one of my favorite movies the last 10 years.
Sugar's a good movie. Mississippi Grind ain't bad.
I think they're really interesting filmmakers. Yeah, I like Mississippi Grind a lot.
Have Nelson ain't bad.
No, they're good. I'm gonna forget names here. I mean, Joe Cornish is an obvious answer. It sounds like he's finally making a new movie now, but Attack the Block is amazing. I've been waiting to see him do something. Shane Carruth, I know, has been threatening to make a new movie. Yeah, this is
the thing. There's a Carruth coming. Tamara Jenkins, who's a filmmaker, I've always been like, where's her movie? I think she's finally making a movie.
She's shooting something now. I saw her shooting. I literally walked past her on the street behind a monitor the other day. So she is making a movie now.
Like Julie Dash, who just got like she got like a Lifetime Achievement Award for making Daughters of the Dust at like New York Film Critics last year. Like, where's her next? There's a lot of movies where you're just
Nicole Cresswell, who did The Woodsman, which I really love.
I like that movie.
But a lot of people are doing TV now. Like, I was like, why isn't Nicole Cresswell making a movie? And then she ended up doing an episode of Vinyl. Like, a lot of these people are Carl Franklin is like all TV now. There was an answer I was about to have. Oh, Dayton Ferris have a new movie coming out this fall.
They do. That's right.
Which is the Bobby Riggs.
The Bobby Riggs, Billie Jean King.
What
movie.
about the Farrelly Brothers? What happened to those guys?
I like them a lot. But it's been a while.
Todd Vanderwerf really wants us to do a Farrelly Brothers miniseries.
As does Joe Garden. I would love to do it. David will refuse.
No, I wouldn't refuse. Well, their last movie was Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yeah.
Darnell Martin, that's another person I really want to see another movie from her. She made Cadillac Records, which is great.
That movie's so good.
Okay, so we answered that question. Matt Woodcock asks if you had to do a series covering a director whose films are mostly comedies, who would you pick? Well, Farrelly Brothers are one. Judd Apatow is obviously another one because that guy's a blank check filmmaker through and through.
Yeah, Judd Apatow would be a nice little small one to make. Joe Dante, I would sort of qualify as mostly comedies, and I really want to do Dante.
He's just done a lot, but yeah, Dante'd be good.
Yeah. I'll say something quickly while Jesus Christ, my brain is
movie
out of my ears. Who was the other filmmaker you just said? Farrelly, Dante. Judd Apatow. I've been rewatching Freaks and Geeks talk about comfort food when I can't fall asleep at night, and I've been watching the commentaries on the excellent Blu-ray set that Shout Factory released. The commentaries were recorded in 2004, and there's an amazing one where it's Apatow, Feig, and Jason Segel are the three on it, and all of them are talking about like, yeah, I just want to keep on rewatching these and reliving these to remember when I still had a career.
I know, it is crazy.
It's
People
all three
forget.
of them right before.
There was a long time, not even right before.
Yeah.
Well, 40-Year-Old Virgin's what, 2006? 7?
It comes out 2005. He started shooting 40-Year-Old Virgin at the end of that year.
Right.
Feig started working on The Office like the year after that, which then became his like regular job. And Segel started How I Met Your Mother, I think like 2 years after that, 3 years after that. But it was like all three of them being like, I can't get hired, which is crazy.
Rosemary Wagner, let's see, this is a long one. Would we consider adding another character to the Blank Check Awards, such as Best Bit or Funniest Performance? No. Sorry.
We'd add it to an award show covering our podcast.
Would we please do one-off episodes focusing on an actor's career? She loves like the Bill Murray recap we do with the Man Who Look Too Little. She likes what we do with Tom Cruise. But that's just kind of part of the podcast. Like, you know, if there's a movie star we find interesting, we're going to dig into him. You know?
I'll say this. Like, it has been suggested at certain points, this idea. I don't remember who it came from, but that we would do, like, a one-off episode where we pick an actor, someone like Colin Farrell, who we've talked about a lot, and the structure of the episode would be going through their IMDb and kind of, like, charting how weird the career is and giving hot takes on some of the movies. I think it's an interesting thing. We might try it sometime as an experiment. It might be an interesting diversion. Yeah.
What do we think of John Cameron Mitchell as a writer-director? Did you see Rabbit Hole? What do you think How to Talk to Girls at Parties, his new movie, will be like? I think Hedwig and the Angry Inch is a great movie.
Agreed.
I think Short Bus is a pretty bad movie that is nonetheless pretty interesting.
Pretty fascinating.
I think Rabbit Hole is fine.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty boring play about how it would be sad if your kid died. Yeah, thank you for illuminating that for me. But like well acted, I suppose. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
Weren't you almost in it?
Yeah, I was like.
I just realized that.
Yeah, I was. Here's a very weird factoid that's pretty hard to imagine. I was like the second or third choice to play the Miles Teller role in Rabbit Hole. I got really, really close to that. My career would be very different.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it would have framed to be an entirely different life.
This podcast wouldn't exist.
Yeah, all these things.
If Mulaney got picked up, this podcast wouldn't exist.
Agreed. And look, The Tick is my dream job in 1,000 senses, and I'm now very retroactively happy about everything that happened in my life leading up to this moment to allow it to happen. But I got weirdly attached to that character. It's one of the like 2 or 3 times, I'd say Young Neil and Scott Pilgrim's another example, where I got close to a part and really had a sense of longing for not getting the chance to play it. Mm-hmm. I will say this. I had a series of auditions with John Cameron Mitchell where the callbacks to work with him. He was far and away the best actor's director I'd ever worked with. Just in audition capacity, it was astounding. I know him a little bit. I run into him every once in a while. I think he's a great guy. I agree with your assessments of the movies, but I think he's a really interesting artist. I'm very excited for How to Talk to Girls at Parties. It's a great cast. It's a great piece of source material.
Yes.
I'm thrilled to see him come back.
In it. I know someone who's seen it. I'll leave it there.
He's also a great actor. I wish he was on screen more. I know he's starting to do it more and more now.
All right. I'm cutting you off.
I like him.
We really need to keep moving.
Cool.
I can't believe I didn't see this coming, that we would go too long.
That's weird. We're usually very brief about everything.
Joe Norcross suggests Cassie Lemons, director of Eve's Bayou and other great movies. Love Cassie Lemons. Not a blank check director by any means, because she's had to like really fight to make movies. Because what else has she made? A Caveman's Valentine. But I do
Good
like
director.
her. Yeah. Talk to Me is a great movie.
Agree with that. Love that.
Which is, I think, her third or fourth movie.
Yeah,
really
Cheadle
good
and
movie. And then she did
Ejiofor.
Black Nativity, which I did not see.
Didn't you?
Jane Campion, he also says, I'd love to do Jane Campion.
Yeah, she'd be cool.
Ben Harworth suggests all the Bond movies, which is an insane idea, but he sent a very long email that was like breaking down within each actor which is the blank check movie. Like,
Yeah, that's weird.
which was interesting, but there's no way I could read it all out. But I did want to acknowledge it, but no. I mean, if you want to listen to, like, Matt Gorley has his James Bond podcast, right?
James Bonding, yeah.
Yeah, with Matt Myra. Am I right?
Mhm. I believe that's correct.
Yeah. So, no. Okay. Sarah Jan.
The Great Surgeon?
Just listen to the episode on The Village. Now, this email might be from like fucking months ago.
Yeah,
because,
probably. We never checked our email.
sorry, everyone.
Yeah, sorry.
She worked as the stand-in for Bryce Dallas Howard
Ooh!
on The Village. She thought she'd share her thoughts.
Please do.
1. Bryce Howard was wearing a wig. I had to wear the wig too and was told it was extremely expensive. Interesting considering her hair is so crucial to the movie.
And it's
I
her
thought it was
natural
her
hair
hair.
color. It's a wig that has her same hair color.
Sure. I
Interesting.
mean, a lot of actors wear wigs, right? Because you want to maintain
Specific
continuity.
hairstyle, continuity, yeah.
As background actors, we were not told the twist, and we definitely did not figure it out on set.
Interesting.
When I started doing stand-in work for Bryce, which is not that surprising, I suppose, because
Yeah.
all the twist stuff happens sort of off
Yeah.
set.
I still don't know who I'm playing in the tech. They keep that secret from me, so I can't spoil it.
Yeah, good call. You're playing the moth guy. When I started doing
Really?
stand-in work for Bryce, I was
jeez,
told the
that's crazy.
twist
Okay.
because I would be able to figure it out based
Yeah.
on the scenes we were shooting. So I had to sign. I was never asked to sign a non-disclosure. I was just asked to not to say anything.
Okay.
So there you go. They're
Simpler
chill
time.
about it.
Yeah, simpler time.
It really is, actually. She also says that the creature costume was rejected for The Village was reused in the Omen remake. She attached a
weird.
picture. I
Yeah.
got to show it to you someday. And finally, Bryce Howard's very sweet and kind, very nice person.
That's lovely. I like
There
to
you
hear
go.
all that. Yeah.
Okay, this is someone called. No, this is a troll email.
Read a little bit of it.
This is from a person called Hermit Man.
The Great Hermit Man?
Subject: Your podcast ruined my life.
Okay, great.
So I was talking to my boss about Orlando Bloom's penis, and the subject of Elizabethtown somehow came up. Having listened to your episode, I naturally told him I thought the movie was terrible. He seemed offended it hurt and said he was a big fan of Kirsten Dunst. I've never actually seen the movie, so I had to backtrack and was like, yeah, I guess it was all right, which made me seem like a wuss. Now I'm not going to get a good recommendation from him. I'm not going to get this job I'm up for. My career's going to be ruined. Thanks a lot, dickbags.
You're welcome. Next question.
Nathan Wagner.
The great Nathan Wagner. Nathan Wagner.
Oh, right. Now, I just saved this because you need to talk to this person. This was sent last year, last July.
Okay, July 2016.
Hey, guys. I was in an antique store and found an action figure of everyone's favorite Dexter Jetster. What? I immediately bought it and was hoping to ship it to your way as a small, like, fan donation. So he wants a P.O. box or something.
I can give him my address, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll give you his email off.
I have gotten a couple. I don't think I recall it, but I have gotten a couple like Phantom Menace trilogy toys from listeners. I have like a Wind Up Watto and a Bail Organa that people have sent me, which are really nice. I always appreciate it. I'll always take toys. Can I use this as a transition?
You can, but I mean, I will actually ask the question you said you'd respond to soon, so it's your call.
Okay, so I'll wait for that. But wait a second.
What's that in the distance?
We should have a theme song. Like, we should have a drop. Right? Shouldn't we?
We should. But in the meantime, David.
Yeah.
I believe for the last 4 months you've been sitting on a new Burger Report.
It's not been that long because it happened after I saw the movie Keddy, the cat movie.
Seen it?
You saw it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Hot take. Don't like cats.
You know what? I don't like cats either. Thought the movie was fine, but I'll admit at like 78 minutes or however long it was, I was getting a little sleepy in the end. So
Yeah.
I saw Keddy at the Alamo Drafthouse.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations. Humble brag.
With Joanna, and then we went to have dinner at Building on Bond, which is
Double
a
humble
restaurant
brag.
nearby. Yeah, we got some dinner
Yeah.
on Bond Street and Dean or Pacific or wherever it is. And we were eating dinner, and we realized there was a big party in the back.
And a faint smell of burger in the air.
Building on Bond, good burger.
Okay.
I mean, they have other things.
I'm so excited.
It's not that good.
We just haven't had
A
them in
classic
so long.
Brooklyn celeb, put it that way. A real Brooklyn celeb. You live in
Spike
Brooklyn
Lee.
long enough, you'll run into this guy, not Spike Lee. That would have been great. And then so I realized people are coming in and out of this giant backspace that they have for like big parties.
Yeah.
A lot of kids,
Okay.
a lot of kids. much like one of my first burger report, in which Michael Shannon was seemingly babysitting a table full of kids.
It was Michael Shannon's birthday party.
And this party departs as I'm eating dinner. And this party was for the child of one Ethan Hawke. So that's my burger report. That's all I got.
Older or younger child?
I can't definitively say. I don't want this to end up on TMZ.
Okay.
His kids are with Uma Thurman, right?
Correct.
Yes. Anyway, it was Ethan.
How do you look?
Fantastic.
What kind of burger?
They've only got the one burger. It's a hamburger.
Great.
But made of beef, to be clear.
Yeah, hamburgers are probably my favorite type of burger.
I think there were a lot of burgers going back there.
That's amazing.
I think the kids were.
That's amazing. God, what a thrill.
Anyway, there we go. All right, here's some Twitter questions. Let's do these briefer.
The burger report, yeah.
You don't have any burger reports?
I don't.
Has Craft Services not done a burger?
They haven't, and I keep on trying to, sometimes I'll show up on set, and I'll just, stand next to Jackie Earl Haley, and I'll be like, oh, my God, I got all these extra hamburgers. Do you want one? He's like, no, thanks.
Sure. All right, so here's some questions from Psy_Rye.
These are quick takes, because
do we make any money from the podcast?
Absolutely not. We lose money.
Yes. Will you end if Griff gets a role in the next Fast and the Furious? No.
Absolutely not, because I've already gotten the role. I'm in Fast 9, and we'll keep doing the podcast.
Will Goss, the famed nice person on Twitter who is great, asks, have either of you spent a significant portion of your life living abroad? I grew up in England.
Really?
Yes.
I never heard that before.
Carlos Yu asks, Will there be action figures of #the two friends?
Ooh, what an interesting question. Time for a merchandise spotlight.
Okay.
I have to be vague in this answer.
Sure.
Because ink is still drying. I can confirm there will be Griffin Newman toys available late this summer for the tech.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to be merchandise, baby.
Very excited for you. But that's all you can say?
Yeah, I don't think I can get into more details. It's all been coming together, but I had been launching a big campaign, tweeting at a bunch of toy companies, harassing them, asking them to make toys of me, and then an Amazon executive saw it and was like, oh, you didn't know that was happening? And I was like, what?
Aww.
And then I had a conversation with him, and I believe there will be some stuff available pretty soon, and hopefully more to come. But I'll have, some nuts. Stay tuned. Look at my follow me on Instagram, and maybe I'll be able to post a picture when I got. Well, yeah.
All right, that's enough. Conrado Falco asks, "Can you talk about your favorites from 2007? I'm in a 10th anniversary mood lately. I can read you my list. Real fast.
You have your 10. Yeah.
Zodiac, number one.
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood, Sunshine, No Country for Old Men, Ratatouille.
Yeah.
That's a bulletproof top 5.
Yeah.
Any of those would be my favorite movie in a lot of years.
Yeah.
Whew, Knocked Up. Assassination of Jesse James.
Yeah.
Eastern Promises. Into the Wild. Death Proof.
Wow.
Keep going. I'll keep going. Michael Clayton. This movie's are still good. Sweeney Todd, Juno.
Yeah.
We Own the Night. Yeah, we do. Gone Baby Gone. Yeah, he is. I can't remember if it was a boy or girl. The Bourne Ultimatum. Sure it is. Atonement. We should tone. I Am Legend. Yes, he is. Southland Tales. They sure were. Away from her. Yeah, he got away from her. It was sad. I'm not there. He wasn't there. Resident Evil Extinction. They're all dead.
What number was Resident Evil Extinction?
23.
Jeez.
It's a good movie.
I don't have a list written out. I know in 2007, No Country was my top. I think with time, Zodiac and Ratatouille have both grown for me. One of those two would be my number one. They're both really, really close. Jesse James, I love. Michael Clayton, I love.
Don't love that Eastern Promises?
I do, but it'd be lower down.
What, you more of a Western Promises guy?
Yeah, probably. Love Cronenberg, but it's not one of my favorites.
Should rewatch it.
Yeah, I probably should. But I'd say Ratatouille or Zodiac are probably my two favorites. I think those are two best movies in 10 years. 2007, great year. Great year. Love Knocked Up, love Superbad, love the first Transformers movie, which now we're not going to talk about.
Number 35 on
because you
my
guys
list.
made a poopy pants
in
fit
between
about it.
Planet Terror and My Blueberry Nights. I ranked it above My Blueberry Nights.
Yeah, I should probably go back and make an actual list. You know what year I was thinking back on was also really interesting?
What?
2005.
2005.
I think was an interesting year.
Let's see what I've got there. I'm just interested. My number one movie of 2005 is The New World.
Mine was A New World as well.
You got Cachet.
Sure.
Hidden, also known as 2046.
Sure.
History of Violence. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
History of Violence would have been my 5. Also would have been my 5. The Holy Girl, a movie I love.
Don't know that one that well.
The Martel movie.
Munich.
Sure.
Batman Begins.
I love Batman Begins. Would have probably been my number 2. I also love...
Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, I love a motion picture titled King Kong, directed by Peter Jackson. I think that film's a masterpiece.
Konstantin.
Also love The Weatherman,
Nope.
directed by Gore Verbinski, which would also be in my top 5.
Konstantin? Can you figure out what it is?
Crunch Tintin?
Constantine.
Oh, yeah.
War Worlds?
Yeah.
Good Night, Good Luck?
Mm-hmm.
Old Boy?
Hitch.
Bubble?
Hitch.
3 Barrels of Melquiades Estrada?
That's a good movie.
It is.
Yeah.
The Puffy Chair?
Yeah. There are a lot of years we could talk about. Years are good. You know what else rules? Movies.
Mm-hmm. Love movies.
Movies fucking rule. Next question.
If you two were from Laugh Alone, if we were going to make a podcast about something that isn't movies, what would it be? I don't know. Actually, comedy.
I don't know. I really don't know.
We like movies.
I'd probably make a toys podcast that no one would
bagels.
listen to.
Oh God, no, I would not be on it. Conrado also asks, "How do I feel about the End of Zodiac? I feel like it's not ambiguous enough." The ending of Zodiac is perfect.
I agree.
It's totally haunting because the whole idea is he thinks he got him, but he's not sure, and that's the whole fucking thing that's driving that movie.
Well, it's my
that like splinter in your brain where you're like, I gotta figure this out.
And my favorite line in the movie is when they're running through all the evidence, and Ruffalo just goes all circumstantial.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's the fucking thing. Like, the thing I think is beautiful about that ending is it's like the most blue ballsy ending of all time because you have 2 characters. You know, one who you've seen at 2.5 hours earlier in the movie, played by a different actor, and one who you're just meeting for the first time, like James LeGros entering the last 90 seconds of the film, and suddenly they're now posing the question the last 2.5 hours have been fighting over, and they're given a conclusive answer, but still it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, it's true. All right.
It's unsolvable.
Olivia Haydar?
Yeah, the great
asks,
Olivia Haydar.
Will you ever do a Richard Kelly miniseries? That's been floated a lot.
Yeah.
Be fun.
I've never seen Southland Tales, you know.
That's nuts. That movie is
That's like the blank check
good
is,
and
right?
very worth watching.
Yeah.
Just listen. He was on our friend Todd Vanderwerf's podcast. I think you're interesting, and he's a real sweet guy and a good interview, and very upfront about like what he likes, what he doesn't like.
He's only got 3, right?
Only got 3. It's really weird.
We float around sometimes, especially if filming schedules become more of a thing and this and that, you might see some more shorter miniseries so that we can bank one quickly and stack it up. You might see some of those shorter filmographies coming up. Whatever.
Ben Rosen asks, can we hear Griffin's Ang Lee Hulk theory? I don't know what that means. We'll talk about Ang Lee someday.
Yeah, it's a Sins of the Father movie. It's a movie about literally fighting
we talked about
your
this.
dad. Can I say this? I mean, like, no spoilers. My hot take on Guardians of the Galaxy is that James Gunn found a way to make all the ideas in Ang Lee's Hulk accessible and enjoyable to an audience. The end of the movie is very similar to Hulk.
Angelo Catrancis, yes, you're right, actually.
Nice space friends.
Asks, Wells or Hitchcock? Why do I have to pick?
Jeff Wells. Yeah, I choose Jeff Wells.
That's right. SRO.
Yeah.
Nick Loriano asked for our favorite decades in terms of fashion, world leaders, and music. Not going to answer that question.
I like the 70s.
Sure. Great. Justin Falcone, whatever happened to the Catherine Bigelow series? I saw Strange Days years ago, and I'm still trying to unpack it. Stay tuned. Andy Germuga asks, who do you think was the first blank check director? I don't know. Cecil B. DeMille? No, it's DW. It's
100%.
Griffith. It's 100%.
100% DW Griffith.
Because Intolerance is like
the craziest
first blank
check movie of all time. Yes.
Where he's essentially just being like, I am not a racist, and makes another racist movie.
No, it's actually Edison, guys.
I was going to say, there's the argument from the Lumieres. They do the train coming to the station. People were like, yeah, give me another one. Show me 2 people kissing. Show me a horse in water.
Jake McKay asks...
People leaving the factory.
Jake McKay asks...
an elephant.
This is an important question. Did PlayStation ever reactivate Griffin's account?
Great question. Yes, they did. It was a really long, protracted battle. They thankfully did. And it was one of those dumb things where they were like giving me so many answers as to why they wouldn't reactivate it. And then when they did reactivate it, they didn't tell me, and I just found out because I turned my PlayStation on and I had service again.
God.
I would have taken that all the way up to Sony, though. I guarantee you, if they hadn't taken care of it. But yes, I have. Hey, look, you know what? I'm playing PlayStation more these days. Fly Brewster Fly is my PlayStation handle if you want to add me as a friend on PSN.
I will. What are you playing right now?
Lego Worlds.
Great. Will Goss says, rank the Avatar sequels sight unseen.
very easy. It's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Agreed. Scoop Reinhardt asks, would you ever do a series on David O. Russell? I mean, he's not a bad choice. Talk about a toxic male director.
He's one of those guys for me where I wouldn't want to do it yet because I think it's still very much an evolving narrative in a way where he's made such a weird transition, but I think we've seen the end of one period of David O. Russell, and I would want to see what the next one was before we try to come in with our blazing hot takes.
Mm-hmm. Julian Axelrod. No, I'm not answering this question. We already answered it. Which actor's got the most...
But let's acknowledge the great Julian Axelrod.
Sure. Which actor's gotten the most blank checks in their career? That's his second question.
Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Stallone would maybe be my second choice. Stallone was really a blank check, ego-driven actor.
Blank checks.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel got a few recently. Yeah. He's sort of in that Stallone mode right now.
I'd love to do a Vin Diesel miniseries. I pitched you that, right? Mm-hmm. The Vin Diesel miniseries would be the 3 Riddicks, the 3 XXXs, and the 8 Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, it'd take a while.
Yeah.
And you'd need to do The Last Witch Hunter. You're not doing one without
That'd
The
be
Last
the
Witch
bonus.
Hunter. That's such a blank check
The
movie.
only filmmaker to ever get a film greenlit based on his Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Yeah. Hillbilly Eulogy. Rank Malick movies, please. It's actually tough.
It's very tough.
What's your favorite Malick movie?
Here's where I go off the dome, okay? But it could change minute to minute. Much like the wind blowing through. Okay, off the dome,
yeah.
I would go Days of Heaven, then The New World, then Badlands.
Very different.
Yeah. Then I'd go Thin Red Line. Then I would go Knight of Cups. Then The New World. Not The New World. I'm sorry, Knight of Cups, then Tree of Life. I meant.
Hot take.
Then I would go To the Wonder. And I have not seen Song to Song.
Yeah, it's more of the same. I think I liked it less than Knight of Cups more than To the Wonder.
Okay.
So yeah, my favorite Malick movie is for sure The Thin Red Line, then The New World, then Badlands, then Days of Heaven. Mm-hmm. I'm not as into Days of Heaven as you are, I think.
Love Days of Heaven.
As some are.
Yeah.
Then The Tree of Life. I'm not missing any major ones here, right?
No. Right.
And then Knight of Cups.
And To the Wonder.
Song to Song. To the Wonder's at the bottom there. That's a movie.
Yeah, and to be fair, because I know people are going to get angry about my Tree of Life placement, I think all those films are great other than To the Wonder.
If you could have any novel, Jason Puckey asks, if you could have any novel made into a movie starring Griff Lightning, what would it be? I don't know.
This is kind of a trick answer because it's a graphic novel, but I was thinking recently I would kind of kill to play Yorick in Y the Last Man.
Yeah, you'd actually be good at that.
Right? I had that realization I could actually do that well.
Yeah, you would do that well. That's a good answer.
I mean, other dumb answers, I feel like 10 years ago I could have done Catcher in the Rye. Not that I necessarily love that book.
Sure, okay. What do you think of...
Oh, you know what? I love Franny and Zoe. I would actually kill to do like...
It's not going to happen.
I don't like Catcher in the Rye, but I like the Glass family.
All right. Joey
But Why
Hamilton.
the Last Man is my real answer.
I also love the Glass family, and I'm excited because they're going to be releasing new Salinger books soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those books too. I just don't know if they're
ever be made.
Good movies. Joey Hamilton asks, what do you think of the Steven Spielberg produced animated shows and video games, aka please talk about Animaniacs. Animaniacs is great.
Yeah, I'm more of a Tiny Toons man myself, I'll be honest with you.
Listen to Tiny Toons.
But the Spielberg animation wave, I mean, Freakazoid's inarguably the best of that wave.
Max Scholl, my real friend Max Scholl, asks, how about...
They're great. My short answer is they're great. He did a good job. Good cartoons. Love them.
Max Scholl asks, how about the Ben's Choice miniseries? Chevy Chase, Steve Martin movies. He's pitching this.
Look, if Christmas was every day, it wouldn't be Christmas.
Totally agree.
Ben's Choice
this
has to
is
be
a Ben question.
At the
Here's
end of
another
a
Ben question.
Dessert.
Andrea Streeter asks, if producer Ben gave you guys nicknames, what would they be?
Great question.
Wow. This is okay.
From the great Andrea Streeter.
All right, so I would introduce Griffin as Mr. Tangent. Cut that out. Doctor, cut that out.
What about me?
And then David, I would call you. Let's see, Professor Frustrated.
Yeah.
Or Professor Befuddled, maybe.
Yeah.
At the moment that Ben said
timekeeper,
Professor
that's
Frustrated,
Timekeeper.
I just want to say at the moment that Ben said Professor Frustrated, David was hand over his forehead, staring down at the table, sighing loudly.
All right, we got to wrap this up. There's a lot more questions, and we
And
really
I would call
appreciate
you the rap.
I really appreciate
I like
you
it.
guys sending in all these questions. I'm going to start skipping some of them.
Okay. lightning round.
I've never seen Clue, Adam, but we should watch it someday.
He suggested that we do a miniseries where each episode's on one character. Yeah. Great idea. We will never, ever do.
Zach Heitzel, any directors you'd love to cover, but they might be too obscure? Yes, hundreds. So many. Robin asks, what up-and-coming director would you give a blank check to? That's actually a decent question.
Yeah.
I feel like that's basically what happens now. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, what I would want is a true blank check. As excited as I am to see Bowden Fleck do Captain Marvel, I don't know.
That's not a blank check.
I want to see someone get a Matrix-level blank check to make whatever the fuck they want.
Look, the whole thing is we don't give the blank checks. The whole idea of a blank check is it's a poison chalice in a lot of ways, and sometimes, you can trip over your own ambition. So I'm not sure I'd want to give it to, Barry Jenkins, or whatever. And I think it's true what's happening in TV right now, where sometimes, no restrictions on your creativity can be a bit of a problem. Sometimes it's good to have something to push against.
Sure. But dumb answers off the top of the dome, yeah, I want to see Barry Jenkins do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Jennifer Kent would probably be my number one blank check.
Yeah, you keep talking about her.
I love her. Sean Baker, although he works so well on the micro-budget level.
I know. James Gray is making a space movie next. Can't wait to see whatever the fuck that's going to be.
Yeah, Joe Cornish, already mentioned.
Katie
Yeah.
Rich says, Zemeckis or bust. Not a question, Katie, but we would like to do Robert Zemeckis.
Bobby Z, love him, baby.
Josh Spiegel says, will you be recording a live episode of the show as you walk around Pandora, the world of Avatar and Disney World? And if not, why not?
100% yes, it is happening.
Okay. I want to add an addendum to this, which is I am happy to do that if every expense is covered for me. I'm not paying 1 cent to do that.
Well, let's Amazon, if you're listening, please pick up the tick for 6 more seasons, and I will do that.
Robert Hargreaves says, you still pro Smiths? Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Absolutely.
Obviously. Robin says, have you ever worried about the day our finest film critic starts his own podcast and starts producing yours? Ben?
Every day I worry about that. He doesn't need 2 fools like us.
Ben, quickly.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay,
Thank
great.
God.
Don't worry.
Okay, Cody Winfrey says, would you ever consider doing a Coppola series? Would be interesting to hear talking about, his 80s, which are crazy.
Really
Coppola
insane.
series would be amazing.
Yeah.
He's made a lot of movies.
I'd almost rather just do Coppola in the 80s and the 70s ones that everyone knows as the vaunted
the weird
masterpieces.
2000s Coppola movies are interesting, too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's interesting about him.
Sophia Coppola, we've discussed a lot, too.
John?
I don't get the Godfather movies. What's so good about them?
Well, the thing is that they're mobsters.
That's true.
No, I understand. It's like
They believe in
Italian
America.
people talking about their family.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. John Shannon, favorite Disney animated feature in Pixar? No, not included.
Jungle Book, no question, hands down.
That's your favorite?
I love the Jungle Book.
Interesting. No way is it mine. Fantasia is definitely mine. But if you're excluding Fantasia because it is a plotless movie,
Yeah.
then that's hard.
I've always related to movies about aliens or robots because I feel like a different species than everyone else I speak to. Mm-hmm. And The Jungle Book is a movie about a lonely boy in the middle of the jungle talking to talking animals. And at the end, he finds a pretty girl and he realizes that that's what he wants.
If you remove them, then it's probably Bambi. Either that or like The Little Mermaid and Aladdin and shit. But it's hard. It's a hard question. But Fantasia's my answer.
I like the 70s ones. I like the Wolfgang Reitherman movies. Robin Hood would probably be my number 2 behind Jungle Book.
Weird. We're very different on this. Yeah. Pat Reynolds, will you tell us more about your favorite famous sandwich adventure? He's talking to me. Don Pepe. It's on 5th Avenue in Brooklyn between 39th and 40th Street. I can't even remember the number because there's like 40 sandwiches you can get there. But it's the one with like chorizo and head cheese and like a chicken cutlet and mole and the guac and like a bean spread and stuff. It's so good. Don Pepe. It's the best. You should go.
Our famous sandwich critic, our finest sandwich critic, David Sims.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
John Shannon, follow-up. I think John Lasseter got a blank check similar to Spielberg. Thoughts? I guess so. He was always in charge of his studio, though, so it's a little different.
I would agree. Pixar gets weird just because the first 3 Pixar movies in particular are all hands-on-deck movies.
Exactly.
Where
Lasseter's the director, but everyone was
Stanton
working on
and
those.
Unkrich and Lasseter all having a lot of creative contribution. I don't think the Pixar movies start getting really auteurist until Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, that's probably true. What do you consider a Musker Clements miniseries? Now, that's Ron Clements and John Musker, right? You know who they are?
Yes.
Who are the directors of? They directed Aladdin. Mm-hmm. I think they did Oliver and Company.
Beauty and the Beast, I believe they did.
No, sorry. Great Mouse Detective, Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Hercules, Treasure Planet.
Oh, they didn't do Beauty and the Beast. No. And then they did Moana?
Princess and the Frog, and Moana.
Yeah.
Decent run. The problem with any of those is they're Disney movies.
Disney's
no matter
the
who the
larger
director is,
auteur.
Disney is still the auteur.
I think Pixar is when American studio animation started having real auteurs behind them, and that's Stanton and that's Doctor. The Lasseter movies are a little hard to parse, even though I think there is a clear cinematic voice with Lasseter. Those first couple movies are much more collaborative, and Cars 2 is a nightmare.
Okay, shut up. Rye asks, do your parents listen to your podcast? If so, what do they think of it? If not, why don't they appreciate our work?
Great question. You go first, David.
My mom attended our live episode.
Had never seen a Star Wars movie before. That was how she saw Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, her first Star Wars movie was Revenge of the Sith when I was talking over it. And she's listened to, she's told me she listened to the Blank Check Awards episode. She usually doesn't listen because she doesn't really usually know what the fuck we're talking about. But I think she enjoys that it exists.
Yeah.
That's it.
My dad never took it seriously. He doesn't understand what podcasts are. He was very impressed when we made that Time Magazine list
That's good.
of the 100 best podcasts, which is
50 best podcasts,
that's
my friend.
insane.
Yeah, I agree.
So he just started listening, which scares me a lot.
Oh shit! Are you serious?
Yep.
Griffin, I
Has
never
he gone to
cut
the back
any of that
episodes?
out.
Nope.
Okay.
Griffin, I've never cut any of that out.
Ben, what are you talking about?
No,
No, the things where I told you to cut them out, though.
No,
you cut them out.
He cut him out. It's fine.
I
We're not gonna.
no, I never did.
He doesn't listen. It's fine.
Oh,
It's
okay, all right.
My dad started listening at Jupiter Ascending
okay.
because that was the one, I guess, the Time Magazine spotlighted.
And I think you're right. And I believe Jupiter Ascending, we laugh at the idea that anyone might start listening on that episode.
That's funny. He's listened to that one. I don't know if he's listened to others, but he kept on saying, Griff, can you show me how to download your show on the iPod?
And you were like, oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
And you gave him like the Brian Lerner
and
show.
then he fucking figured out how to do it on his own.
Nice job.
He's listened to that one. I don't know if he's listened to others. He liked it a lot. He said you were a very, very good broadcaster.
Oh, thank you.
He was like, both of you are very good on mic.
He recently followed me on Instagram and likes my posts all the time.
A weird thing that happens is anytime I go on Instagram, every single person in my Instagram feed, their most recent like is my father. He follows everyone I'm friends with.
It's strange, but it's great. Ben Claflin asks, rewatch Grindhouse for the first time in 10 years this week. Is Death Proof the best 2000s QT movie?
Well, you love Death Proof a lot more than I do.
But I would not agree. I mean, Inglourious Bastards is the best 2000s QT movie.
I think Inglourious Bastards is his best film, period. So that's my answer. Yeah.
But I like Death Proof. I would like to watch it again. It's been a long time. MH Burson asks, what has more endings, Return of the King or The Average? If it was a blank check, 5 comedy points.
Yeah, great joke.
Tucker Gilmore says, can we do a blank check run on the MCU? God, I'd love to hear that.
We talked about doing Phase 2 at one point.
It's a lot of movies at this point.
That's the thing. I think
it's been done to death.
We would tackle a phase. I think we worry about things that are too chewed over. I think Phase 2 is the most interesting because it's the one where they kind of have the blank check kind of confidence of
because
we have the audience
Iron Man
here.
3 and Thor: The Dark World and Guardians.
The weird experimental movies.
Yeah, okay.
As experimental as those films
I agree.
get.
Matthew J asks, but we probably
wouldn't. But you might see one-offs of a couple of those at some point. Who knows?
Matthew J asks, what movie have you seen the most times?
I mean, it has to be Toy Story.
Yeah, you've probably seen that a million times.
Yeah.
I actually don't know what the answer is for me. It used to be Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, which I watched every day for like a month. Which is weird.
Wet Hot American Summer is way up there for me, too.
Eitan Benkuya asks, Eitan Benkuya, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name, what's the definitive ranking of all Marvel Universe movies? That's too much to get into now. We don't have the time.
What's your number one?
What's your number one?
Because more and more I feel like it's Iron Man 3, which I know is the hottest take I have.
It's not wrong, though. I mean, so the Iron Man 3 is... My number one is The Avengers on this list I made a while ago.
You're right.
I don't think I could make Iron Man 3 my number one just because it's sort of like a weird middle finger to a lot of Marvel stuff.
That's the thing. More and more as we go deeper and deeper into the universe, I respect Iron Man 3 being that individualistic and esoteric.
I think my favorite's still The Avengers.
Avengers, like the paradigm of what you want it to be.
Agreed. And I just think that was a special moment where we weren't tired of these things and
Yeah.
we weren't like sick of what they were doing.
It's kind of transcendent, but those would be my top two.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's the Benniest movie of all time.
Ohazal Bulbasaur, who I love.
But probably the best username on
Great
Twitter.
username, says, do you guys feel any Stockholm Syndrome love towards the Phantom Menace trilogy, or do you just hate them even more now? This is the last question. Absolutely love the Phantom Menace. Like, I just sort of feel fondness for it.
I feel very protective of it.
Agreed.
And it feels very personal to me, weirdly, for this movie.
Whereas I get very pissy when people defend the prequels in general, especially 3.
Yeah. But Phantom Menace, I definitely have this weird affinity for it. And when I see those characters, there's been a lot of Watto Twitter lately. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Well, Ali Akarian, or how do you say his last name, actually? Do you know that guy?
I don't know.
Ali Arikan.
Sure.
Turkish film Twitter guy who's very funny and very great. Loves
Okay.
Watto. Maybe he's been pushing out some Watto.
Been a lot of Watto memes. Carter Nixon, I know, does some Watto stuff too. Yeah, I mean, I get like excited whenever I see people repping Watto. I have this weird affinity, especially for like our characters. You know, someone, a friend of someone who works on the Tick said, "Oh my God, Griffin Newman's on your show. I listened to his podcast. Can you tell him that I love Gra Gra?" And I bought a Gra Gra action figure just because of the show. And that kind of stuff gets me really excited because I feel this kind of, those weird, like, latchkey characters that we became obsessed with in talking about those movies mean a lot to me, strangely.
I know. I agree.
And when other people get excited about them and I hear people go, like, now I love Gra Gra or Sepulba or Dexter Jetster or fucking whoever. Dexter Jetster's been really big online, too. There have been a lot of Dexter Jetster memes.
It's funny.
He's funny. I mean, I love it.
That's the end of the question.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite movie that I don't like.
Yeah, probably true. All right, so we're done with the mailbag. What did we run there? 2 hours, Ben?
Yeah.
Jesus
Fucking
Christ.
ridiculous.
We said this one's going to be an hour.
I know.
Like, on the nugget.
I know.
Well, I hope you guys had fun.
Well, you can edit if you want, Ben. I don't know. It's your call.
I think there might be some
Split it into 5 episodes
tightening.
for all I care.
Yeah, look,
all
cut
right.
it out. Cut out the whole thing.
We're
Ben.
tired. Yeah, cut it out, double it. Just fold it backwards and, put it in a sandwich.
Okay, so we've been dancing around the subject, but we did a poll recently, and
Look, all right, so here's how
it's
it
not
goes.
democracy,
Here's how
but
it
we
went.
just want to lick our finger, hold up to the wind,
Here's
see
how
which
it
way
went.
things were
We
blowing.
were thinking about doing Michael Bay.
Very seriously.
Griffin really wanted to do a director with some bad movies, with a bad franchise, or at least how would you put it? Difficult franchise.
A
to sink
difficult
our teeth
franchise,
into.
someone who has a really complicated psychology behind their films.
Yes.
And I also liked that doing 5 Transformers movies would put us back in a Phantom Menace territory where we really dig into the strange, messy mythology of a franchise like that, which we haven't gotten to do in a while.
Right. Here are a couple things I want to say about that. One, the psychology driving Michael Bay is that of like terminal male, like, ego-driven, like annoying film bro douchebagginess.
Counterpoint, he is kind of the purest artist working in cinema today, even if his psychology is so dirty.
Hyperbole, but
do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know what you're saying.
Especially on that scale and budget.
I think Michael Bay is very interesting. 2, nobody cares about the Transformers mythology. That's really my main point. But anyway, we were starting to notice...
Grimlock, though.
Mm-hmm. We were like the
Grimlock.
fact that in the last night trailers, they're
David's like holding my hand right now.
They're like Optimus versus Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Like he must sacrifice him to like, and you're just like no one fucking cares.
But like in 2007, I was so on board. It's
because
crazy.
you like toys.
Yeah, I do.
But
That's
this
true.
isn't a toy podcast, my friend.
Not yet.
Anyway,
Toy boys.
we will do Michael Bay someday.
We will do Michael Bay someday. But we
So
saw
get ready for that. But we did feel in the air a little trepidation.
more than a little.
We put that poll out, interested just to see. I believe the 4 names were Michael Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck else was on it?
Was Michael Bay, Paul Verhoeven, Catherine Bigelow,
and Christopher Nolan.
What a surprise. The internet likes Christopher Nolan.
Now, you sound depressed about it.
I just felt like it was, well, we're in territory and a little bit obvious, but the more we've been talking about it,
yeah, it's going to be
there
fun.
are interesting movies to talk about. We decided we're going to do him next, and Dunkirk is coming out this summer, so I'll time out well.
Please get more excited about it.
Christopher Nolan! I love him. I mean, I think he's a great filmmaker. It's just, I wonder...
Ben Hosley sent us a text that really turned the whole thing around. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say.
Get excited.
Get ready for... I mean...
Ben Hosley sent a text. Okay? That should be the first line of, like, any great novel.
David's response was, Ben, this text has changed my life. Ben came up with an angle for Christopher Nolan that I think is so good that I'm excited about doing it now. We'll be doing Christopher Nolan next. What's coming after that? Fucking let's plant the flag in the ground right now.
We're going to do the top 2 winners of this poll next.
Christopher Nolan, followed directly by Catherine Bigelow.
Easy.
Those are our next 2 miniseries.
So happy about it.
We'll be doing Wonder Woman. That will come out the week before this, so you've already heard it.
Yep.
So it's a good thing I told you that it's coming up.
It's going to be great.
But next week, tune in for Following.
Podcasting. That's what it's called.
That's what it's called.
No, next week we're going to do Following.
Yeah.
The first Christopher Nolan movie.
The first Christopher Nolan movie.
The 1 hour and 10 minute
It's a short little
Put
picture.
that in your pocket and smoke it. 1998
Smoke
Neo
it from
Noir.
my pocket. Yeah.
There's a lot to look forward to, guys. We might have some insiders as guests.
Oh yeah, we might. Let's see. Let's not do that thing I always do, where I promise a guest and then
Yeah, there's a bunch of reasons we're going to do Christopher Nolan, guys.
it's
Put
gonna
it
be
that
good.
way.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
And
I'm really
send a
excited
text.
about it, despite how I sounded at first.
Yeah. He just really wants to do Michael
really
Bay.
wanna
He
do
really wants to
Michael
talk
Bay.
about toys.
The merchandise spotlights alone would be
No.
I agree with Ben.
unbelievable.
Yeah. All right. So that's what we're planning.
Do you realize when I get my Griffin action figure, then I can like have Griffin hang out with like fucking Optimus Prime and Darth Vader and all my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Nice space friends too.
How old are you?
28 years old.
It's crazy that you exist, Griffin.
Yeah, I'm a fucking walking paradox. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Mailbag.
Let's never do this again.
It was
No,
fun.
that was
while it
fun.
lasted.
We'll do
Let's
it
do
again in
another.
a year or two.
Yeah, so write in emails and we'll get to it in a year from now.
So try and keep your emails not topical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Oh, you know what we forgot to do, but I forgot to suggest that we do this.
But we did do the burger report.
We did do the burger report. We did the merchandise spotlight. We did everything. Great episode. Best podcast of all time.
Of course.
According to Time Magazine.
Correct.
We never ranked our Spielbergs.
Ooh, but we can't rank old Spielberg.
No,
You mean
which makes it
just-
trickier. What would your top 5? Let's just do top 5.
Thank you.
Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
I will go.
What? You go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
AI.
Mine too.
Bridge of Spies. The Adventures of Tintin. Oh, wait. No. Fuck me.
Please.
I'm sorry. My list would be AI, then Catch Me If You Can, then Bridge of Spies, then The Adventures of Tintin, and then my number 5 choice would be...
Munich, Lincoln, Minority Report.
I think it's Minority Report.
Yeah, I think I'm AI number 1, Minority Report number 2. Bridge of Spies number 3, Saving Private Ryan number 4, Catch Me If You Can number 5. Pretty sure that's my ranking. It's tough though because I really do like Munich.
Munich, though.
Munich though, exactly. I really do like War of the Worlds, although that's more of a I really like Tintin. I really like Lincoln.
Yeah.
What
What about BFJ?
You see, I haven't heard that in a while. You guys just heard him doing that a bunch.
For us, it's been half a year.
Fucking hell.
BFJ!
And now he's got The Post. We didn't even acknowledge this
I
because it
know.
wasn't even news when we recorded
I know,
that
and now
thing.
it's fast-tracked. It's
And then
coming
he
out
was
this
just like,
December.
Oh, I guess I'll make this like Pentagon Papers movie with Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Look, anytime anyone has played Ben Bradley or Ben Bradley Jr. on film, it's been an Oscar play. A big Oscar player.
I think it could be a big deal. I don't know. It'll probably, my guess is it's going to be a movie very much in the Bridge of Spies sort of,
Hey, that's,
mood.
That's the patina I like from him right
Where
now.
some people are probably going to be like, oh, seems a little boring. Where
Yeah.
it's like, no.
And we got Ready Player One comes out like a year from now, right?
No, Ready Player One comes out in March 2018. Not even a year now. Yeah.
A little under.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's
He's just making
actively in
movies.
post on that one. Yeah, and then he's got the other one, the Pope one, which I guess got pushed back a little.
Yeah,
'cause he
that
fast-tracked.
is now in, that could end up in who knows territory. But
Is that
There are a
the
lot of those.
regular age Pope movie?
not a young
No,
pope.
it's about a little Pope who then becomes a big Pope.
Oh.
It starts out as a boy.
It's a baby Pope.
What?
Yes.
No. It's about a famous case where a boy
Yes.
had to be like taken away from the Vatican or something. Like Mark Rylance is playing the Pope.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up.
Great. Hey, everybody.
Wrap it up. Next
Thank
week,
you.
following. Next week, Christopher Nolan. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, geez. We're doing
It's
it.
going to be fine. It's going to be
great.
great. It's going to be Memento, fucking the Batman
People
movies,
are going to love
fucking
it.
Inception.
Here's the thing. I like Christopher Nolan more than
but
most
not
people.
only that, like, Jesus, all those movies, like, they're so crazy.
I know, and our listeners are probably going to go through the roof.
The
Or they're
Memento
gonna hate
episode,
it.
I'm going to cut it
Oh,
all up.
boy,
It's
and
going
then
to be
after that,
all
we're
over
doing
the
Kevin
place.
Bigelow.
You're going to have to piece it together.
Yeah, we're going to get very conceptual with this miniseries.
Just with Inception. We're not getting into Inception with every episode.
Memento.
Well, we are going to record Interstellar inside of a black hole.
Yeah. And Prestige is going to be co-hosted by my identical twin.
Oh, God.
You're going to bring your brother in?
Yeah.
What people forget is that Hugh Jackman also plays someone's double in that movie.
Correct.
Which is, like, the fucking great Hugh Jackman performance.
What people forget is it's the best movie of all time because all movies should be about dueling magicians.
Never has it been better put than that. All right.
Hey, some new things I'm going to institute on this episode. Thank you all very much for listening. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe.
Yep.
And want to thank, as always, starting today,
Yep.
Lane Montgomery for our theme song.
Yep.
Joe Bowen and Pat Reynolds for doing our artwork.
Yep.
Ange for fucking rocking our social media.
Angela Farragudo.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That's how you say her last name, right?
Ben?
Yeah.
Angela Farragudo.
Farragudo.
Thank you for killing it. And
Kicks ass in our podcast. I mean, our Twitter feed every day.
Unbelievable. Thank you to all the blankies. And as always, Griffin, Newman, action figures coming this year, motherfuckers!
This has been a UCB comedy production. Check out our other shows on the UCB Comedy Podcast Network.